It's a crisp Friday night in Groton, and the Fitch Falcons take on an unfamiliar foe, Wilbur Cross of New Haven. An hour away, the Governors and head coach John Acquavita are mirror images of Mike Ellis's Falcons, option teams, 2-2, still figuring out who they are. And both know games like these make or break a season. Tonight we will see good defenses, solid running, and perhaps some history. And you'll see it all live on game day. Live on theday.com, Casey O'Neill along with the Sports Doctor, Keith O'Brien. And Sports Doctor, we are ready for a 2-2 tilt.
Yeah, a little swing game for both teams, Casey. You talk about history. Josiah Barnes, a number 6 for Wilbur Cross, unofficially, Casey, 46 yards away from being the all-time leading rusher for the Governors. That's quite a feat for that young man. On the other side of the field, how about Tyler Nelly, number 2, looking to jumpstart this Fitch Falcon offense.
Yeah, Nelly's going to have to bring them onto his shoulders. Now, Coach Mike Ellis said perhaps he's been trying to do a little too much, trying to do more than is his responsibility, which is typical of a leader. He actually wants him to do just what he's supposed to do and try to encourage his teammates to do their jobs as well.
Yeah, and I think Fitch is really going to have to call upon that big offensive line, Casey. Nick Helbig, Austin Beebe, these are the anchors. These guys control the pace and tempo of the game. And like I said, Nelly, just calm down, just relax, and play your game.
Grass field here today at Fitch High School. Been very wet. If anybody hasn't been following, it's been raining. It's been raining pretty much for the last 2 months. Somewhere there's an arc being built. But tonight we're going to see it on the field. We were down on the field before the game, and very wet turf. A lot of chunks ready to come up. I expect this thing will get torn up because these two teams are going to run the ball 100 times.
Yeah, it's the middle of the field is going to be torn up, Casey. And I'll tell you, that field right now will take 4.4 speed to 4.9 pretty quickly. It is thick and soupy down there at Door Field.
Now, we had a penalty flag before the game even started. I think that's a first on game day. And it's going to move the ball all the way into Wilbur Cross territory. So Fitch, who is going to be kicking off, is actually going to be doing so from the Wilbur Cross 45-yard line.
A good time here for an onside kick maybe to start the ball game for Mike Ellis and the Tricky Falcons.
It certainly brings that into play. Armand Heislop is one of the deep men back for Wilbur Cross. He is their electrifying young sophomore, and look for him to try to get the football. Nelly with the kick, high, end over end, and it will come down to Heislop right at the goal line. He's going to take it straight up the middle of the field and nicely covered out there by the Falcons. And Wilbur Cross will have poor field position in the shadow of their own end zone to start the ball game.
You talk about both these teams, Casey, being 2-2. Both teams coming off a bye week, and I think, Mike Ellis said to us last night, the bye couldn't have come at a better time for his ball club. Got a chance to regroup a little bit after that loss to New London, kind of reassure things on both sides of the football, so I expect to see a much crisper Falcon team tonight.
Well, two names, quarterback LaShawn Hicks and running back Josiah Barnes. They're the playmakers for the Governors. On first down, handoff will go to Barnes, and he is wrapped up very quickly for a loss on first down. And that's something Mike Ellis said, that Barnes, like Jacob Commander of New London, you can't even let him get to the line of scrimmage.
No, he gets into the second level, and he has a way of making plays, and a good job up front by the big people of Fitch right out the chute.
Good size on the offensive line for the Governors, and at wide receiver, big Enos Jones is split out wide to the left right now. Bad snap, and just falling on it is Hicks. And that's another thing that in our conversations with John Acquavita, he said snaps have been a problem for them. Their center is still working on that, and we see it there on second down. It's going to bring up third and long, and this offense really not meant for that.
Yeah, and again, a team at 2-2 that's got a lot of fresh faces out there, Casey. Again, a lot of these kids played JV ball last year, and they've had to learn on the fly on the varsity level this year.
So standing just outside of his own end zone on third down. Rolls, throws on the run, has a man. It's complete out past the 20-yard line to Barnes, but we're going to see a flag on the play, and that's to number 5, Sean Barnes, brother of Josiah Barnes. But the flag on the field.
Legal formation maybe on Wilbur Cross. Something did. Ineligible receiver downfield.
So off that play action, and a nice throw. One thing we were discussing last night is that, LaShawn Hicks only throws the ball about 6 times a game. But, Coach, you could tell Coach Acquavita was a little bit excited about the potential that he has shown through the bye week throwing the football, and he put that one right on the money. That's going to back them up inside the 5-yard line to the 4. So it's going to be 3rd and 20 from their own 4-yard line. Dangerous territory here for the Governors on their first possession.
Tough start to the ballgame, Casey, with the penalty pre-kickoff, and then, like you said, a couple of mistakes, a penalty on the 3rd down conversion, and 3rd and a country mile. Yeah, busted play there.
Throws out incomplete. Kind of thrown into no man's land was Hicks that time. Incomplete. He was rolling to his weak side. And on their first possession, Wilbur Cross goes pregame penalty, loss, bad snap, penalty, incomplete pass. So that's a quick 5 and out for the for the Governors. And they will punt. And we'll see Fitch with their first possession after the punt.
Stephen Cantress back deep to receive for the Falcons. Casey had a big game against New London 2 weeks ago. Pick 6 return for a touchdown. Made some plays in the kicking game as well. We'll keep an eye on Stephen Cantress.
He stands at only his 32-yard line, so going to be great field position. Randall to punt for Wilbur Cross. Elijah Randall gets it off the side of his foot, and it takes a good bounce for Wilbur Cross. It's going to cross the 40-yard line. But Fitch is going to have great field position on their first possession. They'll start on the Wilbur Cross 40-yard line.
We'll get a first look here at the offense, Casey. The double wing, a triple option threat. Tyler Nelly at the quarterback. The offensive line, and again, that triple option, not a gimmick offense, a timing offense, a precision offense, and nobody better at it in the league than Tyler Nelly.
They'll start with Deichler as the fullback, Tate on the wing, Lonnie Howard rather, end around Howard off the right edge, and nice gain on first down for Lonnie Howard.
Howard gets the edge, shows some speed, finishes the run, 8 yards. Let's call it 7.5 on the pickup on first down. This is the kind of down and distance that Fitch likes. 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4. They can control tempo with these kind of down and distances.
Quick up to the ball. Toss left to Tate. Tate has the edge, and we'll have a first down for the Falcons inside the 25-yard line.
Talking to Mike Ellis last night too, Casey, he says, boy, we miss Hollis Scott. You know, that's the missing piece from last year's team to this year's team. You know, that kid that on the inside that had the instincts to get hit the hole and hit the dive.
And I think more than even the physical ability, he was really the motor of the team. He was a kid that was full of will. We saw him just have so many big plays on game day throughout the course of his career. Nelly's going to keep it himself that time, and not a lot there. He'll gain a couple yards as he tried to roll to his left. And that's one thing. We haven't seen Tyler Nelly really have his coming out game of the year. This has been after seeing him really develop over the past couple of years, we expected him to be a big-time quarterback this year, and he's had some early season struggles. We're kind of waiting for the Tyler Nelly coming out party. Going to send Joseph Vignato out wide to the right to the Falcons. Nelly's going to throw, looking out in the flat. It is complete. And breaking a tackle is Kennard Tate, but he is wrapped up, and it'll bring up a third down for the Falcons.
Kennard Tate with that padded helmet on top of his helmet. Concussion earlier this year, so Kennard Tate going to use his noodle out there a little bit.
3rd and long for the Falcons. Ball is at the, let's call it the 26-yard line. Nelly's going to keep it himself, and he is hit hard by Elijah Cherry just as he gets past the line of scrimmage, and that's going to bring up 4th down. Certainly 4-down territory for the Falcons.
Yeah, you hate to see Fitch squander, Casey. Great field position to start the game on the offensive side of the ball.
So it's going to be 4th and a long 5, maybe 6 here by the Falcons.
Success on the first 2 plays, getting the ball to the edge, Casey, with their speed. They tried to go up the middle of the last 3 or 4 plays, nothing doing. So let's see what they can do here. A little bit of a NASCAR package, as Mike Ellis would call it.
Nelly going to roll to his left, wants to throw, pressured, and he is sacked, immediately hit by Kyle Dorsey, who was free all the way to Nelly. No chance on that one. And the Falcons will turn it over on downs, and the Governors will have much better field position than they had in their first possession.
Yeah, unblocked was Dorsey coming off his right end position, Casey, and making a play. Kind of caught Tyler Nelly by surprise. He had no chance at all in that play. Couldn't set up, couldn't look downfield. Big sack, number 55. Double nickels.
Both of these teams want to go. It's already 7.5 minutes into the first quarter. These teams like to get right up on to the line of scrimmage and go, go, go. So Hicks from the shotgun. Broken play, and Hicks falls down, and he's covered up by Austin Beebe. But there's a good example of just miscommunication off of a bye week. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, second time we've seen this in this ballgame where Barnes is going the wrong way on a pitch or on a fake play or a fake handoff on a play action. You know, Coach Acavita talked about that last night. He talked about keeping this offense simple, left, right between the numbers.
That's going to bring up second down and long. It's going to be about 2nd and 17. Hicks this time tosses it behind Barnes. Ball's loose, and Barnes covers it. And right now, Wilbur Cross is, to say they're struggling on offense right now would be an understatement.
Well, they're doing nothing to help themselves, that's for sure.
I mean, we've seen nothing but penalties and broken plays so far. I mean, I think they've only had one clean play, which was the first run that was a loss. Everything else has been some kind of a broken play for them. So really not communicating well right now. And it's going to be third down and maybe
28?
28 yards. Yeah,
okay,
that's
sure.
Hicks, handoff straight up the middle, and not a lot there. And now we got some shenanigans down in the field between the two teams, but nothing doing, no flags. That was a good call. But that's going to bring up fourth down. We're going to have to see another Wilbur Cross punt.
Sloppy football. You think coming off the bye week things will be crisp, flowing, moving smoothly. Just the opposite for both teams thus far.
Can I just tell you that I'm looking at myself in the picture glass of the, and I have my glasses on.
Sure.
And every time I look up, I think I'm looking at my father, and it's terrifying me. I keep looking up and go, why is my father broadcasting the game right now? That's no good. No good at all.
Zinc.
Bless his
Zinc
heart,
man,
but
yeah.
when did that happen? So we're going to have another punt from Elijah Randall. He's standing back on his own 5-yard line, and we're going to get a timeout. Wilbur Cross just want to settle things down right now because they have not done a lot right here in the early going. 5:41 in the first quarter, no score. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Sports Doctor Keith O'Brien is with me as always. And so, Sports Doctor, you're looking forward to this weekend? Big sports weekend for you?
Yeah, well, big weekend. Big weekend in the ACC, too, Casey. Let's get that out of the way. Crossover weekend in the league. You know, obviously tonight with, Wilbur Cross playing Fitch. New London is playing Hillhouse tonight. And NFA has that big matchup versus Newtown tomorrow, number 8 in the state. So big weekend in the league. Killingly has the night off. Waterford plays at Bacon tomorrow, so a lot of action as far as high school football goes.
Yeah, and this is the week where the teams from our conference, the teams that we think were going to be good, Fitch, New London, NFA, have a chance to find out where they stand with their, comparable teams from the other end of the state. Something kind of cool going on at Bacon Academy. It's homecoming for the Bacon Academy Bobcats, and all of the youth football players will be running onto the field with the Bobcats tomorrow.
Sure.
So that's always a lot of fun as Waterford travels to Bacon. But the game of the week is certainly NFA and Newtown. Low snap. Barnes handles it. Gets another punt off straight up in the air. Not good. They're calling poison on that one. It bounced sideways, and Fitch is going to have fantastic field position. That ball did not even approach the line of scrimmage.
Now, it was a Casey O'Neill approach wedge right there. That was ugly.
Little knockdown wedge. He had good spin on it. But, I mean, you can't get better field position. Now, you talked about this on their first possession. Fitch has got to start taking advantage of this. I mean, you can't count on having the ball inside the 30-yard line on back-to-back possessions.
Yep. Find a way to run the ball up the middle.
See what they do here. Nelly, handoff straight up the middle, goes to Michael Hamlin. And that's a pretty good gain on first down by Hamlin. These two teams, very, very difficult because they love to run in between the tackles.
Yeah, Fitch's best crack between the tackles all ball game, Casey. And Michael Hamlin doing some work, bounce to the outside, stick your head down, and got himself 4 yards on first down.
Elijah Cherry and Nazi Nelson, 5'11", 305, 5'10", 232. That's the two big tackles in the middle of the line there for Wilbur Cross. Nelly from the shotgun. He's going to roll right, He's going to keep it himself, and he's got plenty of room. Nelly with a first down, cuts it back inside the 10, and the Falcons will have it first and goal from about the 6-yard line on a nice keeper by Tyler Nelly.
Yeah, straight quarterback keeper. So nice piece of blocking on the outside by Joseph Viganato for the Falcons, Casey. And when you get those plays like that, the wide receivers hold their blocks downfield. Nelly finds a little space, finds a little room, turns on the Jets.
Yeah, I think that was a really simple play. I don't think it was really a pass option. That was really
a straight run.
That was a straight rollout run, quarterback keeper. Nelly did a really nice job though, disguising it, held the ball up, and sets him up first and goal. Nelly fakes the toss, keeps it himself, heading for the pylon. He's not going to get there. Nice pursuit on the edge by Wilbur Cross, and I'm not sure if he got a yard or not. We'll see where the mark is, but that time Nelly just got beaten to the sideline.
Yeah, great job there by the Wilbur Cross defense, stringing that one out a little bit, Casey. Sooner or later, when Nelly's running that ball, he's going to have to pick a lane, turn it up, and go.
Well, Coach Aquavita thought they would be the fastest team that Fitch is going to have seen this year, and Fitch has played New London, Fitch has played Hamden, so that's saying a lot. Here we go, second and goal for the Falcons. Ball at the 5-yard line. Nelly, dive play and stuffed nicely by the interior of the Wilbur Cross line, and Mikey DeLeon came up from his safety position, linebacker position, and stuffed it. That's going to bring up third and goal. And here's where the Falcons have had problems all year long. They have been in scoring position inside the 10-yard line multiple times. They have not punched it in.
Yeah, they got to capitalize right here, Casey. I give the interior defensive line credit for shedding their blocks and making the tackles for the Governors.
I think you got to be willing to throw the ball, and that's just where you need a guy like Vignato to be able to catch a pass here. Quarterback keeper Nelly relying on the line, churning, and he's not going to get there. He's going to be short. It's going to set up fourth and a much shorter and makeable down and distance, but it will be fourth down. I know you're shaking your head, but I think that you run the ball so much that if you could simply put it in the gut, take a step back, and hit a guy like Vignato on a little slant or a little lob to Hamir Stevens, you're going to score a lot of touchdowns because
I think they're challenged in the vertical game.
I think you got to throw the ball up. You're pounding the ball against this team, and you're not scoring points this year. Time to do something a little bit different. And my man, Hamir Stevens, on cue, goes wide left, Vignato wide right. We'll see what happens on fourth down. Nelly's going to keep it again, and he's going to get in, but there's a flag, and I think we're going to get a legal procedure. Yeah,
it's a false start.
False start by the Falcons.
Boy, they just can't seem to get this offense going.
You're rushing up to the line because you want to get it off, and a little over-exuberant. The junior voice of game day got his first false start penalty last week that cost his team a touchdown.
Sure.
So
happen.
Welcome to the world of linemen. I said, you gotta learn, but that's what you gotta learn. These guys for Fitch, they're in high school, and that's what you gotta learn. You gotta be patient, right? You gotta take a deep breath, know the count. You're in such a hurry to go, and now you cost your team 5 yards. So we'll have fourth and goal Falcons. Ball's gonna be back at the 6-yard line. Falcons desperately need to be able to punch something in just for their morale at this point. Nelly, he's going to throw. Time, hard slant, and a beautiful defensive play made by Armand Hyslop. He denies Vignato, and the Falcons will turn it over on downs, but Wilbur Cross will again have it inside their own 10.
Yeah, textbook play that time by a Hyslop. A little hand on the hip, little reach around, knock the ball down. I like that. It's a big-time play. Out on the island was number 3.
Only a sophomore is Armand Hyslop, and he made a nice play. But
here's one of those athletes. That's the athletes that the coach talked about. We got some guys that can make some plays. You just got to coach them up and get them in the right position.
Now, this for the second out of 3 possessions, Wilbur Cross will have the ball inside their own 10-yard line. So tough place to start.
But Fitch has got no points on the board.
That is correct. And a little bit of momentum now on the side of the Governors. Hand off to Barnes on first down, and not a lot of doing in there in between the tackles. It's going to maybe gain 2. That'll bring up 2nd and 8 for Wilbur Cross.
2 carries for -1 yard for Barnes, so we'll keep an eye on him as he approaches the school record.
He needs 47 yards to get to the school record.
That's quite a feat, though. When you think about, when a young man is approaching a record, a school record, and, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. Wilbur Cross has been around a long time.
Yeah.
It's one of the oldest high schools in the state of Connecticut. So, little option keeper, and Hicks is hit pretty quickly. Nice job of pursuit that time by the Falcons. Brandon Hamilton one of the first ones for the Falcons to come up and stop that.
And I see Barnes on the wing jumping up and down. He wanted that ball. He had a little bit of space on the outside, some green grass in front of him. He said, come on, Hicks, just pass me the ball. Just toss it out to me. I'll make a play.
3rd and 10 for Wilbur Cross now. They have really done, they've done actually less than nothing on offense.
No, they have negative yards.
They're in the negative right now. They have done less than nothing on offense up till this point, and they have 3rd and 10 on the shadow of their own goal line. Gonna throw. Hicks rolls, tries to dump it to Chino Grant, and that's incomplete as the throw was at his feet. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, big number 55, Nick Helbig. Wrecking shot, busting through the line.
Yeah, if I was going to say, listen to the youth, the youth players out there, pay attention to this guy. Nick Helbig would be a good choice of who to pay attention to, of how to be a lineman. His mental approach, his work ethic, and how he plays the game. Nick Helbig is a good example. If you want to know more about Nick Helbig, theday.com's got a feature on Nick going on right now and talking about those very things, so check him out. It's a little story about Nick. 4th down and another punt for Wilbur Cross as Randall stands in his own end zone. High snap, and it's blocked. Blocked off the goalpost, and that is going to be a safety. 2 points on the board for the Falcons. Helbig came in and blocked the punt, and the Falcons jump on top. There's a way to score points.
Yeah, well, the bad field position, back against the wall, 3 consecutive possessions cost the Governors that time. We just talked about Nick Helbig busting through and make a play. Hey, listen, it ain't 6, but we'll take it.
I've never seen a blocked punt that almost went through the uprights. Do you get 3?
That's pretty good.
Do you get 3 or 2? I've never seen one go back.
2.5. You get the hook.
So that's a big breathing moment for the Falcons, their defense. And Coach Mike Ellis has said the defense has played great all year long. They held Hamden to 6 points, New London to 13 points. They've played very well. Then here we are right in the early going, making a little something happen. With 43 seconds in the first quarter, a 2-run home run by Nick Helbig has put the Falcons on top.
It is baseball season, is it not?
We're going to talk about that in a little while, too, because Sunday night is going to be a tough – there's going to be a lot of
tear me apart.
picture-in-pictures. There's going to be a lot of picture-in-pictures in Boston on Sunday night, so we'll talk a little bit about that.
2-0. Looks a little weird on the scoreboard, doesn't it?
It does. And Pedro Mojica's going to go back, stand at his 28-yard line. It looks like for the free kick, we'll see what the Governors are going to do.
So the Fitch offense has had the ball twice now, an incredibly good field position. Couldn't capitalize, couldn't punch in a touchdown, and got 2 points off a block punt safety.
That's correct. That's can't draw it up any
That's
different.
your recap right there.
Can't draw it up any different. So the Governors will kick from their own 30-yard line. Mojica's the deep back for the Falcons. Jabez Cubez with the kick. And Mojica takes it on the run at the 40-yard line, heads straight up the middle of the field, breaks to the outside, lowers his head, and before he's wrestled to the ground by Carlito Rosario. And the Falcons will have it. They have not been, neither team, for any reason, has been on the Falcons' side of the field yet in the first quarter.
Not even in the opening kickoff.
Nothing. Nothing. I've never seen that. Not one play on that side of the field at all. Not even in the kickoff. That's fantastic.
They're the first for everything.
So here we go, Falcons with 34 seconds remaining in the quarter. Nelly will be under center. And we're going to get a whistle on another penalty.
Another false start here against the Falcons. Boy, sloppy going for Fitch early.
Now, if you're, these two coaches right now, we had a bye week. We had 2 weeks to get crisp. And Fitch, in fairness, has been, at least been running plays. But off a bye week, oh my goodness.
The only thing crisp is the weather outside right now. Case. That's it. A little crispiness in the air. A little fall.
It is crisp.
A little neutral zone infraction. That's not against Fitch right there.
Nope. There we go. Wilbur Cross, because they've done nothing right so far tonight. Straight up the middle, handoff. Nothing doing. Deichler on the carry. And he'll be stopped after minimal gain. And we'll have a 2nd and short, as that penalty was against the Governors previously.
James Deichler, sophomore, 5'10", 170. Coach Mike Ellis trying to find a guy to replace Hollis Scott. Good luck.
I said, write James Deichler down. I couldn't find him on the roster because of the way his last name was spelled. Coach Mike Ellis couldn't remember his number, and he goes, he'll be the guy playing fullback.
Coach, what number is he? Yeah, I think he's 27, Casey. And
I said, nope, no, there is no 27 on your roster, Coach.
Right.
He's like, I don't know. I go, well, he'll be the one playing fullback. I went, okay.
So you're going over the roster with Coach, and you get down to number 45, you're like James, and Mike Ellis says, that's Deichler.
Yeah, that's Deichler.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there you go.
We're at the end of first quarter, and the score on your – yeah, that's correct. You're not seeing it wrong. 2-0 Fitch at the end of the first quarter. As we are in October, can we say it's been a house of horrors for Wilbur Cross thus far?
I think so. It's been boy, I tell you, just tough sledding. Not a lot going right for either team right now. The only thing going right for Fitch is the field position that Wilbur Cross has been giving.
And the defense has been playing
The
relatively
defense
well.
played all right, yeah.
But, you go on a haunted hayride, and you get to see, guys with chainsaws and scary witches.
Yeah.
Right now, Wilbur Cross is seeing false start penalties and bad snaps.
Yeah. Halloween, your favorite time of year?
Oh, not mine. The wife's and the kid.
Yours is
The wife and the kid. Mine
4th
is
of July?
Mine is summer. And there's
You're a big firework guy.
I like the 4th of July.
I like fireworks.
Americana, Norman Rockwell. 2nd down and 4. Falcons will have it at the 39-yard line of Wilbur Cross. We're going to get a toss left, and not much there. Had a little slip on the field, and I think Tate wants that one back because Kennard Tate had a little seam there, but bad footing. That's the first time we've seen that happen on this very soft field.
Yeah, Tate saw the lane. He tried to cut back a little bit, and boom.
There's an interesting score at the end of first quarter. East Lyme 3, Weston nothing. Field goal. Always good to have a good kicker, and the Vikings with a 3-0 lead.
5-0 for these two games combined.
Third and 6. Fake toss. Nelly's going to throw and has his man. That's Lucas, and he'll be right at the first down marker, but he'll have a first down. That's going to move the chains, and the Falcons will have it 1st and 10.
Good throw that time by Tyler Nelly, Casey. He looked down Lucas, stared him down, squared his feet, squared his shoulders, and delivered a strike to number 4.
At the end of one quarter, Ledgerd 3, Lyman nothing. So 8-0 the ECC on top at the end of one quarter.
I'd bet the
3
under.
games. Oh, man. 2 field goals and a safety. Who'd have thunk that? Nelly going to throw. Hitch and go. Down looking for Stevens. Well covered by Donald Burris. Incomplete. But I like that play there on first down by the Falcons.
I mean, you got to think that Fitch is going to have the threat of the long ball, the threat of the pass. Like you said, just kind of loosen things up maybe up the middle for Deichler.
Yeah, some teams, they run 2 or 3 times up the middle to soften it up for the pass. Fitch has got to throw it a couple times.
Set up the run. Yes,
That's right.
That's a great point.
So it'll be 2nd down. Nelly will operate under center. This time Nelly on the quarterback keeper, and he's hit behind the line. Nicely done that time. Frank Clayton got him for a loss, and it's going to be 3rd and probably about 11 yards. So Fitch going backwards here on this possession.
5'11", 240. Big Frank Clayton up front. Talked about some of the sizes and some of the speed for Wilbur Cross. That time Frank Clayton taking matters into his own hands.
305, 235, 240. Those are the runts of the litter. Because then you go 320, 320, 245, 265. They got some beef over there in the governor's side of things. Timeout on the field, Falcons. So let's talk a second about those 3 scores we just named.
Yeah.
We're in the second quarter. The Falcons have not let up a point. They have 2-0.
Yeah.
Ledgerd is up 3-0 at the end of a quarter, and East Lyme is up 3-0 at the end of a quarter.
I blame it on the weather.
You're going to blame it on the weather.
Yeah, it's a beautiful night for football.
You know why? They've been practicing in the rain for so long.
Yeah.
We got only a game we don't have an updated score on is the New London Hill House game. We'll see what that's all about if we can.
That's a big game for New London.
Now,
right
we're going to talk tomorrow. I gave you a hard time earlier, but
Yeah.
you really like NFA's chances against Newtown tomorrow.
Yeah, I do. I kind of think after seeing NFA play against East Lyme that, they've got a lot of good pieces to the puzzle, Casey. They got a running back. They got some good receivers. They got some size up front. And they got a quarterback who's starting to get it a little bit. Parker really impressed me a few weeks back. Coming off the bye, I think they're going to be all right tomorrow. It's a homecoming game, and I really like the coaching job Jason Bakulis is doing, too.
And you realize that Newtown is giving up single-digit points on
Yeah,
the season.
number 8 in the state, too. I get it.
All right.
I get it.
Listen,
I am not Ned Griffin.
I'll be rooting for the Wildcats, but tough sledding tomorrow. Nelly fakes the toss down the sideline, and the pass is complete. And another thing is, it's not Tyler Nelly that threw that pass. That was Damian Flores into the ball game, and he's the one that threw the pass. So Flores into the ball game. Now Nelly's coming over. He wants to get back in the game, but I saw the 2, and it didn't occur to me it could be a 12.
Nelly's on the sidelines.
So there's Flores coming in to run the offense for the Falcons right now, and he just threw a big first down pass, big pass on third down. Toss left. Tate uses his blocker, breaks a tackle, heads for the end zone, touchdown, Falcons. Kennard Tate, and another flag comes in. Kennard Tate took Hamir Stevens and said, here's where I want you to block. Grabbed him by the jersey, threw him into a defender, and the Falcons have scored a touchdown.
Yeah, a change of pace for Fitch that time. New quarterback in on a drive, and Kennard Tate, like you said, Casey, setting up shop and riding the back of Stevens into the end zone for 6.
And give credit to the sophomore, Damian Flores, who came in on 3rd and 11 and threw a strike for a first down, kind of boosting the energy level here of the Falcons. And with 9:46 remaining here in the first half, suddenly the Falcons are on top 8-0.
8-0. And Flores is fired up. Look at him come off the field.
Oh, absolutely.
He's pumped up.
I don't know if he was expecting that to happen tonight. And after we'll see what happens with the penalty. And we're going to send the kicking team onto the field.
Yeah, you go for 2 here?
I think they're going to kick the extra point here.
Would you go for 2?
No.
No, because it would be a one-possession game if you did not get this. So it's
correct.
The extra point would make it a 2-possession.
You see, the sports doctor is very smart. Oh, we got a left-footed kicker. I love one of those. Evan Birdie on for the kick. And it is up. And it is no good. He pulled it to the right. So with 9:46 remaining here in the ball game, Falcons with an 8-0 lead over the Governors of Wilbur Cross. Here watching Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill and the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien. And that was a little something we weren't expecting to see.
I don't think Tyler Nelly was either. He looked a little surprised not being able to come back onto the field.
End of the first quarter, Killingly on top 14-0 over Stonington. Not a good spot for the Bears to be in there.
No.
They're struggling right now. A.J. Massengale and his team's Bears are struggling a little bit right now, and an angry Killingly team is not who you want to face.
He'll be angry the rest of the season, I think.
Yeah,
with
they
that
will
one
be.
loss, they'll have a little chip on their shoulder and, defending Class M state champs and all that.
Yeah, that Killingly NFA game is going to be watched by a lot of people because they really want to see, as good as Killingly was last year, that's the kind of thing they want to see. Can they compete with the big guys like NFA?
2 different styles of football there, too. You have straight power football by Chad Neal, and you got more of the wide-open style and a little speed from the Cats.
That'll be an interesting one. That is being played in Killingly this year. So
on grass, it's probably thicker and slower than this right now.
They're not going to cut it between now and that game
no.
right now. That's
That'll be like the melon turf up at Saratoga that day.
Lose small children at the 30-yard line. I would listen. I would too.
Let it go.
Yeah. 3 yards in a cloud of dust for Killingly. Actually,
Lou Holtz tricks back in the day.
So 9:46 remaining here in the first half. 8-0. The Falcons on top of Wilbur Cross. What is? I'd say we're beyond crisp now. I'd say it's downright chilly. I'm a boy of summer.
Not below 60 degrees.
I'm a boy of summer, sports doctor. I don't like when I can see my breath. I guess it's not that cold after all. So the Falcons will kick it off. Low line drive kick dropped and finally taken by Barnes, and Barnes will cross the 45-yard line, and Wilbur Cross will have its best possession of the night as they're almost into Falcons territory. So on this possession, there becomes the question. Can, with 9:35 in the first half, Wilbur Cross run a play, any play, on the Falcons side of the field?
Like see Barnes get going a little bit here on this drive, Casey. He's been the workhorse of the Governor's team, so get some touches, get it open space. The offense is not operating with their backs against the wall right now, so maybe that will help them out a little bit. At least the mindset.
And it's going to be first down and 10 for Wilbur Cross at the 46-yard line. 4 yards. Think about that. With 9:35 remaining, they have not run a play on the Fitch side of the field. Wilbur Cross comes right up to the ball.
Fitch hasn't run a play on their side of the field. Nobody has.
That's correct. There has been no play on that side. No, Fitch has always been on that side. Handoff on first down. Barnes. Barnes dragging a defender for 2 yards. Fights over to the 47-yard line. Good defensive play by the Falcons, and Barnes just kind of willed his way for a couple.
Pedro Mojica that time filling from the linebacker position again. Fitch will stack with 7-8 guys into the box, Casey, and just try everything they can to stop Barnes.
Yeah, you could hear Mike Ellis. He was very, very clear when he said that you got to hit him before he breaks the line of scrimmage, because once he does that, that's when he's dangerous. Second down. Hicks rolls, throws, man open, and he overthrows Sean Barnes, his number one receiver. Barnes that time had a step. He had Flores beat, overthrown. It'll bring up third down.
Hicks, the lefty, turned his body, had a man, and just overshot him a little bit. No flow, no rhythm, no tempo, no nothing to this Governor offense thus far.
No, they really haven't. They're looking just for a little flow right now. 3rd and 8. Hicks will operate out of the pistol. And handoff right up the middle, and it is stuffed. Nothing there. Fullback dive, and there was nothing doing. He gave it to Mikey DeLeon, and DeLeon was hit by Helbig and Daniel Mojica and the center of the Falcon line. And that's going to be 4th down, and Wilbur Cross has still not made it into Falcon territory.
And the punter's getting a workout tonight, that's for sure. Elijah Randall,
the senior. 6'2", big, long punter.
His 5th punt of the night.
And snap is good. Now pressure this time. Much better punt. High into the air. And taken on the run by Cantris. And Cantris almost succeeded in continuing the run. This will be the first play with under 8 minutes remaining. The first play on the Falcons side of the field the entire night. That includes multiple kickoffs and, oh my goodness. And that's at the 47-yard line. So, 1st and 10 Falcons from their own 47-yard line.
Yeah, Stephen Cantris, playmaker, Casey. Big kick return against New London. Pick 6 against New London. Kick can do some damage in the open field.
Yeah, I like the junior comes up and runs and catches it on the fly. There are guys that are comfortable with punts, and he is certainly one of them. Nothing doing that time on the dive to Hamlin.
Big Frank Clayton, number 55. We'll be calling his name all night.
And it's going to be a loss on the play on first down.
Senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman.
Yeah, they got some big guys down there. Nazi Nelson.
Quick for his size,
pounds.
too.
Late in the first, Hillhouse 6, New London, nothing. 0-5 Hillhouse.
Yeah. The Academics.
That's correct. 2nd down and 12. Nelly back into the ball game. Rolls, is going to throw, wings it, and wide of his target, Stevens, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
Tyler Nelly almost looks uncomfortable out there throwing the ball on the edge like that, especially back across his body, Casey.
That's a tough throw.
It's very tough, yeah.
Rolling that way, you have to decide how to try to square your shoulder up enough to make that throw, and he couldn't do it. Plus, you're throwing at an angle. It's a little easier when you're rolling that way to put a little loft under the ball. He's trying to throw that ball on the line, and that was very, very difficult to do. So 3rd and 11, and Nelly will operate out of the shotgun with Hamlin standing to his left. Nelly pressured, little screen over the middle to Hamlin. Complete, still wrestling forward, and he's going to be close to a first down. Nice play that time by Michael Hamlin on the little old-school jump throw.
Yeah, a little jump pass, a little Tim Tebow style that time for Tyler Nelly. Hamlin with some space, sticks his head down, and certainly Fitch will go for it here in 4th down, and say 1.5 is short 2.
Yeah, 1.5 balls in the Wilbur Cross side of things at the you said, the 45-yard line. The tip of the ball is just touching the 45-yard line as we're under 7 minutes remaining here in the half.
Hamlin showed you something there in the open field. Get some space, a little shimmy.
A little speed.
Yeah, a little shake and a little finish at the end.
Nelly's going to operate under center. Handoff straight up the middle on the first down. And the chains will be moved as Hamlin gets the first down. Reward him with another carry, give him the first down.
Yeah, good job the offensive line that time for Fitch, Casey, getting off a little bit and finally winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. And for those dive plays to work, you have to win the battle up front. Tough sledding against Frank Clayton and the boys, but nice job by the Falcons offensive line.
So 1st and 10, Fitch with the ball's at the 41-yard line, and clock ticking now. It'll be under 6 minutes very shortly, 20 seconds. In motions, toss right to Lonnie Howard. Howard has a first down. Howard gets a block from his guy, Kennard Tate, on the edge, and he'll be out of bounds. Big run from Lonnie Howard.
Yeah, and a good job that time by Tate, not holding on the edge, springing Howard for an extra 10 yards. And you see Tate put his hands up in the air after he led the block. He said, listen, don't throw the flag. Best play of the night today for the Falcons.
Yeah, first down, Falcons. The ball will be all the way down into the Wilbur Cross 25-yard line. They got some speed. They are softening up the middle there with a lot of dives, and then they go wide and use that speed. Pitch left. Not much there that time as Tate is wrestled to the ground in maybe a half a yard.
Yeah, good pursuit and a good textbook tackle by number 22, Mikey DeLeon. Would not allow Tate to turn that ball back upfield, Casey. Good play that time by the Governors.
Yeah, very young roster for Wilbur Cross. Coach Aquavita said he had a really good group the last couple of years, but a lot of turnover after that. Very young.
Good combination, too. Speed in the linebacking core, size up front, the makings, Casey, of a good, solid defense down the road.
Yeah, some of the names we've called tonight, very young. Jabez, Cubez, Mikey DeLeon, a lot of sophomores and juniors. The playmakers, Hicks and Barnes, are seniors, some of the line seniors. But certainly not, the cupboard is not bare down there in New Haven, as we're going to get a timeout called on the field by the Falcons. And with a 2nd down and 10 coming up, the Falcons will talk it over.
It is a big weekend for sports, though, no doubt about it. The ALCS, the NLCS, I'm sorry.
Well, the National League starts tonight.
Yeah.
A little Clayton Kershaw and the Brewers tonight.
Milwaukee hasn't lost a game in about a month and a half, right?
It's about right.
What, about 12, 13 straight?
Yeah, and Christian Yelich hasn't made an out in that time either for Milwaukee.
Who's that the big relief pitcher they have, Casey?
Hader?
Oh,
Josh Hader?
Josh Hader, yeah.
Which is ironic because he got in some trouble earlier this year for some language that he used back when he was a kid when they were accusing him of being a hater. So, just saying, that's, it's irony.
He throws filthy stuff, that's all.
And is on Twitter, too, unfortunately. That's tomorrow night, they're playing a game in Boston. I don't know if you're aware of this, Sports Doctor, but the Red Sox are in the American League Championship Series against the defending World Series champions, the team that knocked them out last year, the Houston Astros.
Yeah, it'd be a tough series.
Verlander and Sale. How good is that?
6 or 7 game series right there.
Verlander and Sale. That's pretty good. And then on Sunday, you got Bruins hockey, the 3-1 Boston Bruins off a win last night versus Edmonton. 2nd down play. Nelly rolls, throws to Hamlin. Hamlin has it, breaks a tackle, falls to the ground, and we're going to get a flag. And they're going to
I think is that a tripping penalty?
It might be. We're going to see whether it was a block in the back or a trip, but Hamlin with a beautiful run off the little dump pass from Nelly. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be for naught, as we will see what the officials call. It is going to be an illegal block hold there against the Falcons, and that'll back it up. So Sunday, if you are a sports fan on Sunday, you can start by watching the Boston Bruins, who moved their game to the daytime.
Yeah.
You can watch football all day if you want to. And then at about 8:30 Sunday night, you're going to need to go picture-in-picture or wheel the second TV into the living room, because the Red Sox in Game 2 versus the Astros and the Patriots hosting the fastest team this side of the Los Angeles Rams, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, hopefully David Price holds us in this game, and we can.
You might not. Yeah, right. You might be able to turn it off.
Yeah.
Nelly's going to throw. Has a man, Stevens, and it's overthrown in the end zone, but we're going to get a flag Donald Burns was holding the right arm of Hamir Stevens, not allowing him to go up and get the ball, and that'll be a pass interference
I don't like that
against
flag.
Wilbur Cross.
I don't like that flag one bit.
You don't have a problem with him holding the man? You don't have a problem with that? So I'm just going to ask you a question. When you're running a pass route, am I allowed to hold you, restrict your movement, and not allow your hand to go in there?
No, I just don't like that flag. I just don't. I thought Stevens was
You don't
in the
like
clear.
the color of the flag? I'm just curious. What is it about the flag you don't like? What did the flag do to you?
I don't like the call.
So then you do think it's okay to hold the guy's arm, pin it down to the side, and wrestle with him. You think that you're saying that that's okay?
Yeah. I just don't like the flag. I was watching. I watched the play.
The flag was called called a penalty.
Yeah.
You're saying that you don't believe that was a penalty, or you believe that the referee should have ignored that it was a penalty and let them play?
I don't think it was a penalty.
Okay. Man, I am tough on the sports doctor tonight. I'll tell you what. You felt like he was in court instead of the operating room. First down, toss, and a little wrinkle-dinkle throw, razzle-dazzle, touchdown to Lucas. Tate took the pitch to Lucas, touchdown Falcons. I think I said wrinkle-dinkle, but it meant razzle-dazzle.
It's not too early to go trick-or-treating, is it, Casey? It's the 12th, not the 31st. Kennard Tate can do a little bit of everything for Mike Ellis.
Oh, man, 14-0 Falcons. I just took a page out of the sports doctor's book right there, and I just threw out words that don't mean anything. You're infectious, sports doctor. Falcons will come out and kick the extra point here, up 14-0. I love the trickery. Good snap, good hold, and that one is drilled right through the uprights. And with 4:32 in the half, 15-0. Falcons on top.
That offense finding the end zone, Casey, that time through the air. Good drive that time, whether it's, Nelly throwing the football, the trick play. Fitch showing you the ability they can move the ball through the air.
So, sports doctor, this has been an uncharacteristic Fitch ball game. They're not doing that was more of a drive that like we're used to seeing, where they kind of mixed in the interior, exterior. I love the little jump screen to Hamlin, but the trickery, when you least expect it, that's how you need to get in the end zone. That's how you need to score. That's a red zone play.
Yep. Catch the defense napping a little bit.
Oh, I mean, Lucas had no one covering him at all. He snuck out. Everybody committed to Tate, and Lucas was unabated. You like that word?
It's pretty good.
Thank you. So that was all, of course, set up by the obvious penalty called against Wilbur Cross on the pass interference in the end zone. So 4:32, Falcons on top, 15-0, and this Falcon defense has shown no indication that they're going to allow Wilbur Cross to move the football, and Wilbur Cross has shown no inclination that they're going to get their offense together at this point. This will be an interesting halftime conversation in the locker room for the Governors. A little onside pooch kick and recovered by Wilbur Cross. That was tipped around. Jeremy Martinez tipped it, and ultimately Mikey DeLeon recovered it. And
a flag on the play?
They're going to, so that's going to say we're going to do it again. So I guess it didn't count.
Offsides. Yeah, there you go.
Why not?
I've seen everything tonight. You've seen a block punt go through the uprights. You've seen a trick play for a touchdown.
That's true.
You've seen a phantom pass interference in the end zone. So why not an offsides?
And Wilbur Cross they are now officially, they've spent so much time on their own side of the field. They are now actually given squatters' rights now. It's actually theirs. They own it now. That is now officially the Wilbur Cross side of the field. They're going to be so excited to come out for halftime just to know what the other side of the field feels like, because it has been an unusual set of circumstances, but they have really struggled through combinations of penalties, some bad snaps, and some really, the good play of their defense left their offense in some tough spots. So 4:30 here in the first half, 15-0 Falcons, and we will do it again as Birdie, the southpaw kicker, will let it fly from the 35-yard line, and he hits a low end-over-end kick, and it's taken by Tony Coleman. Coleman heads to the left, cuts it back up inside towards the hash, and Wilbur Cross will have nice field position at the 42-yard line with enough time to make something happen here. And at this point, you'd like to see them put together like a 6-7, move the chains, 6-7 play drive.
I think Coach Acavita at this point would take a first down. I don't think they have a first down all night on the offensive side of the ball. They do not.
No, just move the chains at this point. And they're in great field position at the 43-yard line. Last time it appeared that they wanted to try to get Barnes more involved, but this young man, again, he came in needing 46 yards to be the all-time Wilbur Cross leading rusher, and he has not had anything going tonight. Handoff on first down to Barnes, and Barnes is hit immediately. Daniel Braithwaite came up and drilled him, and Barnes loses 3. If we're not careful, he's going to need an 100-yard game to get the all-time record.
Fitch defense teeing off a little bit. Sending the linebackers in. Hika and company and the front line doing work.
Well, they're showing no indication that they believe that Hicks can beat them through the air. This time Hicks is going to throw. Down the sideline. Has a man. Lofts it in, and it's complete. Looks like at the 25-yard line. Nicely done. Inez Jones with the catch. Inez Jones all the way to the 25-yard line. Biggest play of the night.
Yeah, and Hicks says, take that, Casey O'Neill. I'll throw the ball through the air.
Right on cue.
Yeah. Nice pitch and catch that time. Double coverage. Jones corralled it in.
Hicks runs the option, pitches to Barnes. This time Barnes has some room, breaks into the open. Barnes crosses the 10, heading to the end zone. Touchdown, Josiah Barnes, and Wilbur Cross shows quick strike ability.
Yeah, get Barnes into the second level, Casey. He knows what to do with it. Speed to the edge and a little finish on the run that time. And just like that, 2 plays, this offense finds the end zone.
Where has that team been? Where has that been? Long pass down the sideline and then true option. And they caught Fitch in a defense that they hadn't been in because that true option, and there was nobody out there.
Yeah, good spacing that time on the option, too. Yeah, almost like an extended option play with Barnes just to get him out there in a one-on-one situation. Make a play.
I mean, Hicks was never really a threat to run the ball.
No.
All he had to do was toss it out to the right, and there you had it. So the Governors will go for 2 as they trail 15-6, 3:30 remaining here in the first half. Hicks going to throw, pressured. Helbig had him. Helbig lost him. Hicks heads towards the end zone, and did he get there? No, just short as the Falcons trip him up at the 1-yard line. Nice effort by LaShawn Hicks, but he does not get the 2-point conversion. And with 3:27 remaining in the half, the Falcons hold a 15-6 lead.
Yeah, Stephen Cantrish that time on the stop doing work for the Falcons. Good tackle, comes off a little limping, but is he all right? He's all right, Coach. Well, Cantrish does a little bit of everything for this Falcons team, Casey. He's obviously he's a secondary player, returns kicks, makes tackles. Got to have a guy like that. There's a Swiss Army knife out there for the Fitch Falcons.
I'm still kind of a little bit perplexed by where the
what just happened,
where that Wilbur Cross team was for the first part of the first 15 minutes of tonight's ball game. They beautiful pass down the sideline from Hicks to Inez Jones, and then the very next play, Josiah Barnes on the option gets it from Hicks and scores a touchdown, and all of a sudden, this is almost, like two different night and day, two different teams.
Nice job by Barnes there. Like he said, young man approaching the school record for rushing.
Well, he almost tripped. He slipped a little bit on the turf, righted himself to break a tackle to get into the end zone, but the Wilbur Cross Governors will kick off from their own 40-yard line with 3:27 remaining here in the ball game. Let's see if the Falcons can mount something before halftime, as this game suddenly got a little bit tighter. Governors will kick off, and that ball will roll out of bounds as it was put in front of Hamlin, and he let it go out of bounds, and the Falcons will have good field position.
Just an odd ball game, trying to find some sort of ebb and flow to it. Really has been, like you said, look what I found, look what happened here, and I've got a backup quarterback. I'll throw him out there. So a little bit of everything out there for the sports fan.
You're right about there's been really no ebb and flow to this game at all. Exactly, we've had penalties and miscues and trickery, and all of a sudden Wilbur Cross is in it.
We're gonna re-kick.
Of course we are. Why wouldn't we re-kick? The Falcons are going to make them re-kick it. They want a chance to see if they can get a return here.
Surprised they wouldn't take the field position right there. Huh? Very odd.
So the Governors will now kick it from their own 35-yard line. So, I guess the Falcons just want the extra field position here with 3:27 remaining. Unbelievable. This has been an awkward game here in the first half. So we'll try it again. This time the kick will stay inbounds. And straight up the middle, Falcon return and out to the 40-yard line where the Falcons will take over 1st and 10.
Hader Mohika looks like on a return for the Falcons.
Big 44.
44 and out the door is your guy. That was last year. That was what at East Lyme, was it not? The big touchdown run where Hollis Scott was cramping up a little bit.
Yes. And
Mohika came in and right out the chute ran for about 62 yards up the middle.
So 3:21 remaining here in the first half. Falcons in good field position at their own 40. See if they can make something happen here before halftime. Nelly going to keep it himself and not much there. Brought down very quickly. Frank Clayton, we've been calling his name often. That'll stop Nelly for maybe a half a yard.
Yeah, Deichler with the inside handoff that time for Fitch. And again, tough to replace a kid like Hollis Scott. How do we find a replacement for him? Tough running. Big guys up front. Clayton, Cherry, 232, 240.
Big Nazi Nelson at 3:05. So 2nd and 9. Little option right, and we're going to get a flag on the play. Lonnie Howard took the toss on the option. That was a fake dive, reverse option, and Lonnie Howard got a couple, but we're going to get a flag on the play. That could be holding on the edge.
Body language has improved pretty much here, too, for Wilbur Cross. Back in the game, kids are flying around out there, and it's holding there against Fitch. Amazing what a touchdown will do for you, Case.
Yeah, gets things settled up, and defensively, Wilbur Cross has not played poorly. They had you can't give up the 2 points, which obviously wasn't their defense, and then they've put their team in bad offensive shape. The defense hasn't played bad.
They see number 54, Elijah Cherry, down there right now, just urging the front line on. They got a little bit of confidence now, a little swag up front.
Well, Cherry and Clayton and Nelson, they're all big seniors. So, this is their team. They want to make it happen here. 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining. And now Nelly will drop to the shotgun on 2nd and long. It's going to be 2nd and 20. Nelly rolls, throws into the flat, has his man, Stevens, out of bounds at the 42-yard line. So he'll get back up to about the original line of scrimmage, and that'll set up a 3rd and 10.
Nice throw that time by Nelly on the run. 10 yards back, like you said. Got the penalty yardage back. 3rd and 9 for the Falcons here as we are under 2 minutes ago in the first half.
And we saw Nelly struggle with that throw a few minutes ago as he rolled that side and really wasn't able to throw it accurately. That time, beautifully thrown. And give Stevens some credit. Hand catch, reaching out. That's not an easy catch. In stride, had enough presence to get out of bounds. So 3rd and 9 here, under 2 minutes to go. Nelly's going to throw. Straight drop. Has time. Deep down the sideline, and he overthrows Lucas. And Lucas was in really good coverage. Donald Burris was step for step with him. And that'll bring up 4th and 9, and I believe the Falcons will do the wise thing here and punt it away.
Yeah, Burris, one-on-one situation on an island out there with Lucas Casey, and a nice job. Ball was overshot by Tyler Nelly. But again, those one-on-one matchups, nice job that time by the defender.
So the Falcons will punt, and they'll send in Damian Flores, the backup quarterback, who's done a little bit of everything tonight. Plays linebacker, safety, threw a pass for a big gain, and now he'll punt it away for the Falcons. Good snap, and Low line drive kick, and it bounces off of Coleman's face mask. Ball still loose. Falcons think they might have it. And the officials are looking down. Falcons say yes, the officials agree. Line drive hit Tony Coleman right in the face mask and bounced away like a Super Ball. Add that to the list of weird things we've seen tonight.
I've got no comment after that one.
You know, we have a game every year in October that's just weird. And right now, this game is
number one.
It's weird. Just
It's
a
number one.
Strange game.
Unconventional football game, would you call it not?
At least the uniforms are good. I gave Mike Ellis a hard time. I said, at least he made the uniforms viewable. So the Falcons suddenly, with 1:41, went from punting it away to looking to try to punch it back in. Nelly, another hitch and go. Down the sideline for Stevens, and he overthrows him again. Again, Burris was step for step with Stevens. But Nelly has to put that where Stevens has a chance.
Yeah, a little bit
out of bounds.
Yeah, a little bit of air under the ball, too. A little too much of a rope that time for Tyler Nelly. Touch.
He threw it 10 yards. I mean, he threw it 10 yards out of bounds. He's got to, like you said, put some air under it, but he's also got to get it onto the sideline where Stevens has a shot.
Yeah, throw it more to the numbers where your guy can go up and make a play on it.
And I give Burris credit. They're putting him out on whoever's there.
Yeah.
Man to man.
One-on-one. Out on an island.
Highslope's got the other side. Burris has got this side. In motion, Howard. Toss right. Has some room. Needs a block. Has it. First down, Howard. Cuts it back inside. And that'll move the chains. Nice run by Lonnie Howard on the toss right. And the Falcons are threatening here with 1:26 remaining in the first half. That'll move the chains, and they'll be at the 22-yard line.
Good, strong run that time. Speed on the edge by Howard Casey. Saw a little green grass, took it, finished the run hard. Good blocking up front, and also good blocking downfield by Kennard Tate, wide receiver number 6. And again, throwing his hands up. I didn't hold him.
Timeout. Wilbur Cross. They want to settle things down here with 1:26 remaining. As always, the sports doctor will stick around a little bit. We'll talk some sports at halftime and try to get an update on some of the scores.
So I don't have a score for you from Wyndham, but you talked about potential history here for Barnes. Up in Wyndham, Nathaniel Barbosa-Torres setting the school record for all-time rushing yards. Nice picture here on Twitter from the Norwich Bulletin's Aaron Flom, Nathaniel hugging his mom. So great to see some success for him up there. Fun player to watch.
Yeah, we had him a couple years ago.
Last year against Ledyard.
Opener with Jonathan Hernandez. He might have run Jonathan Hernandez out of the coaching circle because I wouldn't want to try to tackle that kid either. He was a beast on that game at Ledyard last year.
One-man team last year. The quarterback was beat up, hobbling around, and I think he ran for like 265 yards in that game.
And he looks like he's a defensive tackle.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
And he plays that on defense. Yep. So he runs the ball. That's great. Congratulations, Barbosa-Torres. Congratulations. What a great achievement. Wyndham's all-time leading rusher.
Throwback player, no doubt about that.
And just like that, Weston 20, Eastline 3 at halftime. So 20 unanswered points from Weston. Here we are at Fitch High School. The Falcons have a 15-6 lead. And we have a dive up the middle in the open. Hamlin, untouched, touchdown, Falcons. Michael Hamlin, untouched fullback dive, straight up the chute. Falcons TD.
That's you get. Throw the ball on the edge, run the ball, pop, home run up the middle by Hamlin. Listen, we've seen Hamlin now in the open field, Casey. Catching a screen pass, get him in a little bit of space, gets into that second level. There you saw him turn on the Jets and score 6.
And for a Falcons team that offensively hasn't been able to get out of their own way the last couple of weeks, 21 first-half points has to feel awfully good for Coach Mike Ellis.
And a big turnover on the road going into that locker room really is going to hurt Wilbur Cross because they had something cooking there. The turnover on the punt, the opportunity by the Falcons, 6 points.
Kick is no good, 21-6. But that's 19 points. That's 3 touchdowns his offense has scored, which they have not done in a number of weeks this year. So Coach Mike Ellis has to feel good about that. And Hamlin could have gone 120 yards. It was untouched.
Wide open.
And that's a big play for them. And you said the turnover on the other side of things. The Governors had a punt. They had a chance to do something themselves, and instead, off the face mask for a turnover. 1:19 remaining here in the first half. 21-6. The Falcons on top.
And I just want to give credit to our camera operator, Connor Kelly, up on the roof. Not fooled on the option dive, not fooled on the halfback pass. I can tell you from experience, being in that position, trying to follow the Fitch option with the dark football against the dark uniforms, not a fun job. Fun game to watch. Not always easy to keep the ball in the frame.
Well, I can tell you that I couldn't agree with you more because they fooled me on more than one occasion. There has been more than one time where I have called one thing only to see a player streaking down the field with the football. So, Connor, great job. And that's going to make for a fantastic highlight, that touchdown by Michael Hamlin on the dive. So the Falcons will kick it with 1:19 here. And a little onside kick, and it rolls through all of the Governors, but it also rolls out of bounds. And that'll be a penalty against the Falcons, and we'll see what Wilbur Cross wants to do, if they want to have him re-kick it, or they're going to just take the ball. And with 1:19 remaining, 21-6, Wilbur Cross scored in their last possession, and see if they're interested in running an offense here to start this drive. Games around the area. We just heard that Weston is on top of East Lyme at the half. The last score we had of New London and Hillhouse was the Academics, an early lead over the Whalers in New London.
Leading 12-0 now, 6:48 left in the half.
Hey, that's a shocker to everybody. 0-5 Hillhouse with a chance to really turn the tides. New London with wins over Killingly and Fitch the last 2 weeks, and the Hillhouse Academics shutting them out here on a Friday night. So Wilbur Cross here, 1:19 remaining, will have an opportunity. Option, toss, Barnes, and Barnes is hit immediately and wrapped up. Noah Sharon came up and hit Barnes, and he dropped him for a loss. A big 5-yard loss, and that's going to put the clock under a minute, and I think that's probably going to take the life out of Wilbur Cross's sails. I don't think they will look to really try to score or do anything too silly right now. You're going to see a couple of runs here with 45 seconds remaining in the half. Hicks rolls, shows what I know. He wants to throw, pressured by Helbig, throws deep down the field, has a man wide open. It's Barnes, and he drops the ball at the 28-yard line. Sean Barnes was wide open. He beat Kennard Tate, and he couldn't hang on. Wow. Well, first off, Wilbur Cross made a fool of me. I thought for sure that 5-yard loss was going to have them put the ball in their back pocket, but they decided to go all in on a long throw. LaShawn Hicks had Sean Barnes behind the Falcon defense, and if he held on to the ball, it would have been perhaps 6 points for the Governors. If not, it certainly would have been a big play. And instead, it brings up 3rd and long. Hicks rolls, option, tosses to Barnes. Barnes heads outside, and he'll be wrestled inbounds, it looks like. Nope, he'll be out of bounds, but it's going to be well short of the first down as he gets to the 40-yard line. And that's going to bring up 4th and, we'll call it 4th and 8. 28 seconds remaining, and Wilbur Cross is going to have to punt it away.
So I think if you ignore the first quarter and look at just those last 2 drives by Fitch, they've found something that works, a little more precision.
They have, and on the other side of things, Wilbur Cross seems to have an idea of how to throw the ball against the Falcons, but they've got to stop the mistakes that they have made. So punting away, Randall, high punt into the wind. It's going to come down and bounce, and takes a good bounce for Wilbur Cross. And Cantress will let it go, and that'll take us down 14 seconds remaining here in the first half. 21-6. The Falcons on top, and Wilbur Cross is really wishing they had that one back. That was a big, big play, and I think they'll take it into halftime with this 21-6 lead.
It's cold out there.
Yes.
No, it's cold.
Yes.
There are people in the stands with blankets on.
I'm thinking about getting one of those myself. I should have. Normally I wear the hat. I didn't wear the hat tonight.
No.
A little chilly.
No.
14 seconds. Good sleeping weather, though.
80 degrees, 85 degrees on Wednesday.
Oh,
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was. What's it like at Bay Hill right now?
Oh, perfect. Perfect at Bay Hill right now.
So the Falcons going to throw it. Deep pass. Nelly overthrows his receiver. He was looking for Tate, and with 8 seconds remaining, it'll be second down. So these teams don't seem to want to put it to bed to get us to the half.
No, it's like Tate kind of broke the route off there for a second, Casey. Tyler and Nelly wanted him a little hitch and go, and Tate was running the curl pattern.
Score from New London. Hillhouse 12, Whalers 0.
Wow. That's a shocker.
The 0-5 Academics from Hillhouse. And New London comes off of back-to-back wins over Killingly and Fitch.
Yeah.
This is the third home game in a row for New London.
Oh, yes, it is. Yep.
Penalty flags or whistles are at the very least.
Again, you think there's some rust there coming off the week off. You would tend to think that the team would come out firing.
Yeah. I got nothing. I mean, these scores have all been a little hinky as far as I'm concerned. We got
hinky
21-6 here, and the Weston East Lyme score doesn't surprise me. We'll see what the other scores are when we get a chance. And then, of course, tomorrow we got the big NFA Newtown game, and Waterford traveling up to Bobcat Town at Bacon Academy.
Fugitive, right? Hinky. Well, Hinky. That was
No.
Yeah, The Fugitive. You don't remember that movie?
Yes.
Oh, Tommy Lee Jones?
Lee Jones,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, Hinky.
Harrison Ford is chasing Han Solo around. Nelly's pressured. He's going to be sacked. Holds on to the ball, but he's driven to the ground hard by Kyle Dorsey. And that is an inauspicious way to end the first half as Tyler Nelly ends up on his shoulder. But we are at halftime here at Fitch High School, and the Falcons are enjoying a 21-6 lead over the visiting Governors of Wilbur Cross. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor, Keith O'Brien, and I think the sports doctor is going to talk a little sports with our own Peter Wappy. I'll
give you a little break. We'll have you in a few minutes, Case, and we can talk about a little BCS football. Peter, you're going to update us on the out-of-town scoreboard. You have it handy.
Yes. So Zakai Burgess touchdown pass for New London. They now trail Hillhouse 12-7.
Okay.
5 seconds left in the half there. Give me a second here.
Weston was up 20-3 against East Lyme. Could update that. You've got your reporters in the field tonight. You've got Mike DeMar, who's at the New London game. Was it Vicky at the East Lyme game?
Vicky's here, I believe. Dave Davis out in East Lyme.
Dave Davis out of East Lyme. Okay.
We got Ledyard still up 3-0 at the half.
3-0 at the half. Wow. Over, was that Lyman Hall? Is that who they're playing tonight?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yep, 20-3 at halftime. Weston over Ledyard.
No.
Sorry, East Lyme.
How about Killingly? The score Killingly over Stonington at half, or close to the half. The Redmond, tough spot there for the Bears.
28-0. Redmond lead.
Yep. And the other games tomorrow, you're going to have Bacon versus Waterford, and obviously NFA plays against Newtown. Now you're one of those guys that's on board with the Wildcats after seeing them against East Lyme 2 weeks ago, or you're in a wait and see mode?
I think I'm in a wait and see mode. They did some good things. Newtown top 10 in the state, so.
Yeah, allowing only 8.5, 9 points a game. So Casey does make a good point with that.
NFA's got some talent out there. I mean, this is their chance to prove it, right?
You would think so.
I would say based on what I saw against East Lyme, don't know if they're quite there yet, but great opportunity for them. It's going to be a nice afternoon game.
Yeah.
Little rain in the forecast,
That's
maybe.
Right, that's right. And Jason Bacoulis does a really good job of getting those kids to want to run through a wall, though. He's a very fiery guy.
Yeah, there's some coaches that take the subdued, maybe they're more X's and O's guys, and Jason, ever since he's been an assistant coach, has been one of those fire him up. He's right out there in the warm-ups.
Yeah.
Getting the team fired up. I watched the video of him in the locker room 8 hours later, and I'm fired up and ready to run through the wall.
He certainly wears it on his sleeve. Johnny Burns, another one of those guys, wears it on his sleeve a little bit. Gets the kids pumped up and gets the kids buying in. So, big weekend, for the ECC as far as these crossover games go. And then things get very interesting in the last 4 or 5 weeks, we talked about NFA playing up at Killingly. New London has got to play NFA. Fitch has got to play NFA. So there's some good games coming down the road.
Yeah, I know you, big ECC fan.
I have to be.
It's going to be tough. They're going to have the chance to pick each other off and make the playoff road hard for a bunch of these guys.
So would it surprise you if no teams made it to the state tournament?
It wouldn't surprise me. I feel like New London's maybe got the best shot right now, although Trail and Hillhouse, that's not going to help them.
So a 2-loss Killingly team, you're saying, is going to have a tough time making Class M.
I'd have to take a look at the rest of Class M and see. I know in the past
St. Joe's is there.
M has been, as far as getting in the playoffs, has been one of the weaker draws.
Right.
So maybe a 2-loss team. I mean, the bummer with Killingly in the past anyway is that they don't play a lot of good teams. So those bonus points.
Yes. Yes. Now a win against NFA would go leaps and bounds to secure that position.
I mean, to me, they win that game, they're in.
Yeah. You could definitely see that. St. Joe's is in Class M too, so that's going to be a very, very tough. I mean, Berlin is there as well. They're the team that Killingly beat in the semifinals, Berlin last year. They're also there as well. They're undefeated thus far throughout the course of the season. What will you be more in tune to watch this weekend? Red Sox on Sunday night or the Patriots?
Oh, Red Sox.
Oh, really? You don't care about the Patriots?
No. I mean,
you can't.
Not that.
The playoff game is more.
It's a playoff game. Chiefs, an exciting team. I will definitely watch some of that game. But, I mean, we talked about this on your podcast a little bit. It does not get better than playoff baseball.
No, it's baseball at its highest level, with the ins and outs and the managerial changes. To me, when baseball is played at its highest level, it's the best sport out there still.
Every pitch, every out is super important, every at-bat, and there's just – in the regular season, when every inning, every hit, every pitch doesn't mean as much, it can be kind of sleepy. Maybe I don't get into it as much.
Right.
But yeah, in the playoffs, man, it's the atmosphere. I just love it.
I'm going to talk about this with Casey when he comes back on too, because the sabermetrics baseball, that style of managing versus managing on a hunch, on a gut, trusting your players, which I think Alex Cora does a little bit. I mean, obviously bringing Sale. Why would you bring in Sale to pitch one inning? I like the way Cora manages his team. I think he has the pulse of the players.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think he's a part of this trend towards the younger manager, the player guy. Not the Bobby Valentine who's going to come in and
Bobby Valentine. Oh boy, no, I like the way his style is. I like the way he approaches each game, and I think the players trust him. I really do. There's something about being a player's coach.
I think especially in baseball, where it's a game where the coach has the ability to influence every single play.
Right.
Little bit of that in football, not so much in basketball and hockey, where you set them up for success, but they got to go out and execute. In baseball, the coach has the ability to move every guy around on the field, to tell you to swing or bunt. So the coach's strategy is certainly important. So you gotta, whether it's by the numbers or by the gut, you gotta know that part. But I think you gotta have the players buy in, right?
Yeah, and like I said, I love the guys that go on a hunch. I love the guys that geez, let's play Brock Holt today. What does he do? Hits for the cycle. He just seems to press all the right buttons out there, and that's fun to me. That's baseball. I know we've got the, like I said, I'll talk to Casey about it. The sabermetrics and what are the numbers, what are the analytics? But you know what? I've got a feel for this, and guys back in the day, whether it's Earl Weaver, Billy Martin, Mike Scioscia, obviously who's retired now from the Angels. These are how these guys manage. Sometimes you have to have a feel, a gut, a hunch, go for an instinct, and Cora's one of those guys. Now I'm sure he's got a lot of people telling him, well, he bats this. I'm sure the numbers are involved, but I like his style.
The Red Sox have a big analytics team, so there's a lot that goes in there. I mean,
Oh, look at this.
I think your hunches and your guts look a lot better when you've got the analytics to back it up and you've got the superstars on the payroll.
Yeah.
I don't know how well the Billy Bean A's were doing on a hunch back in the day, back in the Moneyball day.
You want to jump in this conversation? We're talking about baseball analytics. I'll give you a second. We're talking about a manager going with his gut and maybe pitching a guy like Chris Sale in relief versus going strictly by the numbers. No, I mean, nobody can hear you. Oh, your mic's right here.
So
Looking around, you're trying to figure it out.
Again, you want to make things mutually exclusive. They're not. He went.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, no. He both went with his gut. There's no numbers that suggest Chris Sale shouldn't have pitched in that spot. Matter of fact, every number suggests he should pitch in that spot. He's your best pitcher on your roster. He's your best starter. He's your best setup man. I got news for you. If he was their closer, he'd be their best closer.
Yeah.
So they pitched him in the highest leverage situation that he was allowed to, and then turned it over to their second best pitcher, who happened to not have a great night. Scares
me.
Sure, but that was absolutely both.
Now the argument there is, what if Sale? What if they got to use him for Game 5? He's only going to pitch at 1 inning, correct?
Yeah, he was never going to pitch more than that. If he got in any trouble, he would have been out. It was a work night for him anyway with a day off, so they weren't going to jeopardize Game 5. It's silly that people think that he would have thrown 50 pitches. No, he was going to. If he had to throw more than 20 pitches, 25 pitches, he wasn't going to be back out there because he's in it, setting up for him, his work day for Game 5. But what's hilarious about that is that somehow the idea that numbers dictate things. Numbers have always dictated things. Alex Cora is one of the new wave of managers that allows his baseball experience to interpret the numbers in a way that makes sense. He doesn't do things that are crazy. For example, a good example of him sticking with the numbers was Brock Holt hit for the cycle. Everyone thought the next night he should be in the ball game, but he doesn't hit well against left-handers, and he doesn't do well against CC Sabathia, so he took a seat in favor of Ian Kinsler, who, by the way, got a big hit in that game. So that's all. We're all noshing here on courtesy of the bake sale.
This is pretty good. You got all that stuff?
Yeah, I do this every year for you guys. I like to be able to help you out.
I mean, the AD here, Mark did not supply us with food, so you stepped up. Now, what about the people who said that Alex Cora outmanaged Boone?
He did, but
now was it because of Boone's mistakes to maybe pull starters?
So I don't think.
Did Severino have nothing in that game?
All right. So here's the thing: the strength of the Yankee team is getting a lead to turn it over to the big four relievers: Robertson, Betances, Britton, and Chapman.
Yeah.
They were the only game that they had a lead. That happened, and the Red Sox didn't score. Every other game, the Red Sox jumped out in front with even a small lead. So he went to the other people. The Red Sox did not score against the Yankee bullpen, but you can't bring, even in a 5-game series, you got to be able to get 9 outs from your starting pitcher.
Yeah, would he have left Severino in the game too long?
I don't. I mean, 16-1. That game was going to go. I don't think it was Severino that the floodgates turned open on. I mean, they scored on Lance Lynn. That was a game where sometimes you just got to write it off. The game the choice that's interesting is, did he go too long with Sabathia? It's a deciding game.
Yeah.
And his point, which I think was he was trying to get. He figured he could get 5 innings from the 4 guys.
Yeah.
But if any of them have a misstep, now he's left with nothing at the end of he's really left short at the end of the game. So he was just trying to massage CeCe through 4. And, listen, it's not like CeCe pitched bad. He came out of the game with giving up 3 runs. It's just we look at it, how the Red Sox almost blew the lead with Kimbrel, and people start second-guessing.
Now, can we start – I mean, I like Porcello. I don't love him, but I think that, I thought I had a feeling he was going to pitch well in Yankee Stadium. He's had success there in the regular season, and now Evaldi's not too bad, too. I mean, so I think what you're seeing now is you got a couple guys you could trust in a long series if you're Alex Cora.
Well, I'd be careful about trusting Evaldi or Porcello without realistic expectations. Here's the thing about the postseason.
Yeah.
We call it clutch. What clutch really means is the ability to maintain your performance in pressure situations. It doesn't mean rising to the occasion, because if you look at, could you agree that David Ortiz and Derek Jeter, two of the greatest quote-unquote clutch performers of our generation?
Yes.
Okay. They both had a lot of playoff at-bats. Matter of fact, they both had close to 600 playoff at-bats.
Yeah.
If you look at their numbers over 600 playoff at-bats, they look remarkably like their numbers over 600 regular season at-bats. So the reason we call them clutch is because once you reach the playoffs, you rarely see a bad pitcher. You rarely see a mediocre. Everything is amped up.
Yes,
and they were able to maintain their level against the best. Nick Swisher, he of the 30 and 100 regular seasons, didn't in the regular season do it against. I don't know what I'm saying.
So if I can interrupt you guys for
Yeah.
a second. So Mr. All Everything for Fitch, Nick Helbig, plays saxophone in the marching band at halftime.
Fantastic.
So Mike Ellis is in there rallying the troops.
And he's playing sax in the band.
Nick Helbig is out performing with the marching band.
All right, that's pretty awesome. I mean, he's rapidly becoming one of my favorite guys just off of that. So to finish my thought, Nick Swisher, every year, 30 and 100, and he was miserable in the postseason. But if you looked at the regular season, he struggled with the best pitchers during the regular season too. So it only made sense that in the postseason he was going to struggle. You look at Porcello; he is a very consistent guy during the course of the season. Throw out the occasional game where he blows up, and all he did, what he's able to do in the playoffs, is replicate that performance. He's not seven shutout innings. He pitches just like he does in the regular season in big spots. He's a good starting pitcher. I wanted to say that we mentioned Evaldi is a guy who's always been stuff-oriented. When he's got his stuff, he's as good as anybody. But if he doesn't have one of those pitches on a given night, he's very, very hittable. Nick Helbig is quickly becoming a game day favorite. You play the sax when you're not here. But speaking of game day favorites, on my way back up here, Fitch graduate, hard to believe since we saw him when he was a freshman, Justice Farris.
He's still hanging around out
in
there,
the crowd.
Yeah.
He's at Southern Connecticut State University, and he grabbed me and he said, just wanted to say hi. And I would suggest he is a game day favorite.
Yes.
He's doing very well at Southern. I asked him 3 questions. I said, are you playing anything? He said, no. He said, and I'm going to transfer because I miss football. I said, more than basketball? He said, I would give up playing basketball forever to get on the football field one more time.
Wow.
And that's a kid who came to football late. Remember, he was a basketball player that came out late for football. He says he's going to go to a school so that he can get back on the football field. The second question I asked was, how you doing in school? And he goes, oh, no problem. I said, not over your head or anything? He goes, no. And then the third question, are you behaving yourself? And he looked at me and he goes, come on.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
So good to see Justice Farris, a game day favorite. We remember him as a freshman on the basketball court.
Yeah.
And I remember him D'ing up the sports doctor like it was nobody's
locking
business.
me down. We did the passing league, the passing drills.
He went up in one-hand interception over you like you weren't even there.
So you stopped off on the way back to the booth, and you stopped off at the bake sale.
I did.
For the kids and stuff like that.
It's a benefit the kids. I'm all about the kids. That's all this is for, is to benefit the kids.
We've got whoopie pies, chocolate chip cookies, Rice Krispie treats.
I'm going to help you benefit the kids right now.
Yeah,
well, listen, no one has said you're not in it for the kids, too, Peter. That's all.
I mean, whoopie pie's got my name on it, that's for sure. I will grab that. And was it not cold outside?
It's brisk.
It's chilly.
It's brisk.
It's chilly.
I will say that there's a crowd around the grill where they're cooking the food, so certainly. And some good eats here at Fitch. Fitch has always done a good job with the noshing at halftime.
Oh, it's good stuff. What are we, about 2 or 3 minutes away? Two and a half to go. Casey, one thing we didn't talk about, we'll talk about it while we're stuffing our faces in here. Wait, how about the Irish, huh? I mean, is that the last red flag game on their schedule last week at Blacksburg?
I mean,
they buried him.
I thought that it was definitely a trap game for them. And early on, it looked like they might struggle a little bit. I was really impressed with that win. That's a tough place to play. Good win. They're legit good, and they're good in ways that are atypical of a Notre Dame team. They first of all, the defensive
Well,
line.
they're good on defense, yes.
Defensive line is
Yeah,
fabulous,
tremendous.
and they rotate all kinds of guys on defensive line. They've also got secondary guys who can cover. In the past, they got exposed in the secondary. Those guys can run. And then on the offensive side of things, now with Booking, they could really throw the ball.
Well, they got Williams in there too. I mean, he's back, right? So I mean,
can
he's
run
he's good.
That 90-something yard touchdown.
Nah, he's good. Yeah, I mean, listen. Talk about a guy that seemed to press the right buttons as far as a coach goes. Yeah, Brian Kelly kind of doing it, and I was not a big, huge Kelly guy.
No.
I wasn't a big fan of his, but this year, I'm starting to warm up to him a little bit.
And I know you were a big Brandon Winbush fan.
Yeah, I liked him.
And I told you that I was a big fan of Book when they made the move. And I think it's pretty clear that Book's the right guy for this offense.
Yeah, Winbush reminded me of Golston. Everett Golston. You're only going to go so far with him, and Book is he's the better thrower. He's the more complete quarterback. How's that?
Yeah, because they really don't need him to run the ball. What I thought about Winbush was that he wasn't really good enough at either thing. He couldn't throw it enough to make him a real threat, and he couldn't run it enough to make him a real threat. He was good at both, but not elite at either. And Book is an elite thrower.
He was terrible against Michigan in the opening game. The defense won in that football game against Michigan.
And that's going to turn out to be a good win. Michigan's better than people think.
Well, they got Shea Patterson now. They're trying to open things up a little bit. And he's a good quarterback. He's not too bad. The Ole Miss transfer, is he not?
That is correct. And Notre Dame's going to look back as they head into USC undefeated. I don't think there's a team before USC that's going to really give them much of a problem. I mean, they could fall asleep. I could see Syracuse hanging with them because they could fall asleep.
Not bad. Syracuse is pretty good. They should have beat Clemson. I mean, that game's at Yankee Stadium, I think?
Yeah.
That's that Shamrock Series.
I mean, I don't think they'll have a problem with Navy, and I don't think but I could see the Syracuse game being one of those, kind of mucky, staying in it kind of games.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think that you're going to roll into USC, and we talked about this last week, and they announced. I mean, all the analysts are in agreement, although I broke it first. An undefeated Notre Dame team gets in. I don't care what has to happen. They'll find a way.
Yep.
They'll change the rules. Second half kickoff and an onside kick to start the second half by Wilbur Cross, and it's loose. And Wilbur Cross may have recovered it. They're jumping for joy right now at the 40-yard line. But, a lot can happen when the ball's in that pile. So let's see who actually comes out of the pack with it. But Wilbur Cross says it's them.
The tricky Governors right there. Catching Fitch napping a little bit coming out of the locker room. Good call that time by Coach John Acavita.
And the Governors do, in fact, recover it, and they will start. Randy Cohn came out of the pile, and Wilbur Cross will have it 1st and 10. And, hey, they're starting in Fitch territory.
Got to see some more Barnes here in the second half, Casey.
Hicks had some success throwing the ball. He had 2 big plays, one for a completion and one for a drop. He's going to throw it on 1st down. Pressured, runs away from Helbig. Helbig still chasing, and Helbig will wrap him up at the 35-yard line. I'll tell you, Nick Helbig doesn't quit. He plays both ways, plays the sacks at halftime, and chases down quarterbacks to start the second half. But a gain of 5 on 1st down.
Deep pass pattern that time by the Governors. Wilbur Cross trying to stretch the field a little bit against this Falcon defense.
Little play in the flat, thrown and incomplete. He was looking for Chino Grant, but the play goes incomplete. Now, I would suggest that the center for Wilbur Cross, Louis Caraballo, he's 6 feet, 320 pounds. If he's not the biggest center that you're going to come across in high school football, I don't know who is, because the centers are usually the diminutive guys that can snap the ball. He is about the side of the Shack here at Fitch High School.
He's the Vince Wilfork of the offensive line.
Rolling left, option, kept himself, and I don't believe Hicks is going to have enough. He's going to be close, though, and it's going to bring up 4th and short, and certainly Wilbur Cross will go for it.
Nice job that time on the edge by Stephen Cantris, taking away the pitch man, and Barnes forcing the quarterback to turn it upfield.
And they did not give
That's not a good
give
spot.
him as much. No, they're moving the chains up a little bit, but he's a good 3 yards shy now. It's going to be 4th, and it's a long 3. It's short 4, whatever you want to call it, but certainly Wilbur Cross is going to have to go for it here. It'll be interesting to see if they put the ball in the air. Hicks in the pistol on 4th down. Hands the ball off to Barnes. Barnes cuts it back inside, driving towards the 1st down, but I don't think he's going to get it. I think he's going to be short, and they're going to move the chains.
Down.
They're going to say yes. So, wow. I really did not see him having enough, but the forward progress before he got bumped back moves the chains.
I think it was the second effort by Barnes that time, reaching forward. Willed his way to the 1st down.
That young man is rapidly approaching his achievement, being the all-time leading rusher in Wilbur Cross history.
Popped that big run in the 1st half, keeps moving forward here.
So 1st and 10, Wilbur Cross, as we're early here in the 2nd half, 21-6 Falcons. Hicks going to throw, rolls left, pressured by Mojica, and he'll run out of bounds after a loss of about 10.
That's where the young man's just got to let it fly and not take the sack there. Throw the ball out of bounds.
That is a bad loss on 1st down, although he must have, you know what, he must have flicked the ball right before he left because they're marking it as no gain.
That's a smart play then on the Hicks's part right there.
So he must have just flicked it away as he was heading out of bounds. Right. And I think that's what Coach Ellis is concerned about on the Fitch sideline, wanting to know what happened there.
Yeah, he's hot. He wants the explanation. There's no doubt about it.
And now there it goes.
Yeah.
There it goes. And they're back.
I think we're all a little bit confused here on the spot, on the play, what happened.
I have no idea.
Hicks just kind of ate it going out of bounds, Casey, and it cost his team 8 yards.
All right, so 2nd down and long, 18 we'll call it, and Hicks will operate out of the pistol again with Barnes in the backfield. He's going to keep it himself, has a little bit of space, gets past the original line of scrimmage inside the 30-yard line, and it'll be 3rd and long, but a nice job there by LaShawn Hicks to get back the yardage he lost on the previous play.
Yeah, a little RPO that time, took the ball out of the belly of Chino Grant, took it himself, and a good gain on 2nd down by Hicks.
So 3rd and 10, Wilbur Cross clearly 2 downs to get these 10 yards. They're not going to be punting from here. Hicks, toss left to Barnes. Barnes breaks a tackle, cuts into the open, has some room, heads to the sideline, stiff arm, 1 man to beat, touchdown! Josiah Barnes, and Wilbur Cross has gotten it a little bit closer.
And I think that could be the record breaker right there for Barnes, but there's a flag on the play. And that thing is coming back, I think, for Holden. Tough break that time for Barnes. It looked like he had the all-time leading rushing record for Wilbur Cross on that play.
He would have, and that is a giant disappointment for both Wilbur Cross and for Josiah Barnes. He had a beautiful run, showed speed, showed some power, a stiff arm, and he outraced everyone to the end zone, but it's all coming back on a hold.
Looked like Jacob Commander out there, did he not, Casey? Little north-south running, little bull and bull style.
And he's got some wheels, because once he got into the open field, he really turned it on. Josiah Barnes, a 5'8", 180-pound senior, and it is instead going to become 3rd and even longer for the for the Governors.
Coaching staff not happy with that call whatsoever. John Acavita, one of the good guys in the business, I'll say that. I only met him once, talked to him on the phone last night, but a tremendously hospitable coach.
I said he's the Mike Ellis of their conference because the two of them were very, very similar in their love of football, the love of the kids. You could just hear the enthusiasm in his voice, and incredibly accommodating as well. They're still trying to figure it out down on the field right now.
It's a spot foul, so it's going to be 3rd down, and they won't lose any yardage.
They were literally starting right where they just finished.
Yeah.
All right. So just a do-over.
3rd and 10.
It's a do-over.
No touchdown, no rushing record.
I thought there was no do-overs, but it's do-over. All right, 3rd and 10.
Breakfast ball mulligan.
From 9:20. Speaking of breakfast ball mulligans, next week.
Thursday, you want to get out there and play?
We're gonna go and check out the ECC cross country championships over on the Norwich Golf Course. I mean, what better? That's pretty fantastic right there.
Play a little golf in the morning. I'll get you out there, my friend.
9:20 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, 21-6, and they are still trying to figure things out down in the field right now. It's 3rd and 10, Wilbur Cross. Ball remains on the 30-yard line of Fitch.
I think Barnes wants the ball back right here on this play.
Absolutely.
Give it to me again, Coach.
Hicks will operate from the pistol. Stray's going to throw this time, pressured. Head straight up the middle, and he is brought down by Helbig at the 30-yard line. Is it safe to say that Nick Helbig is in on every single tackle that happens for the Fitch Falcons?
Yep.
I mean, he is as active a lineman, I think, as we have broadcast. He is involved in everything.
He just never comes off the field, even at halftime.
I mean, 6'1", 215, not an ounce of fat on him with a motor that runs all day. 4th and 10, big play here for Wilbur Cross. Hicks is going to throw. Has time, no pressure. Now he's pressured by Helbig. He's going to keep it. Heads to the outside, breaks a tackle, and runs out of bounds. What appears to be short of the first down. Not a lot of awareness on the play by the quarterback, LaShawn Hicks.
He needed to stick his head down and dive and will himself to those extra 2 or 3 yards for the first down. I'm not too sure he knew he was on the field, to be honest with you, Casey.
No, I don't think he did either. I think he thought he was, closer to the first down than he was, but instead it's going to be first down, and the Falcons will have the ball, their first possession of the second half with 8:39 remaining in the third quarter.
I think if Hicks would have stayed in bounds and tried to find a way to finish that run, he might have got those extra 2 or 3 yards.
I agree. Very strange. And we're going to get a flag on the play as Tate went in motion and got kind of stuck in no man's land. And we're starting the second half in a very similar fashion to how we started the first half, with a little bit of
wackiness and some. I used to be an offsides.
A lot of handkerchief on the ground. Oh, we're going to get a offsides penalty, neutral zone infraction. Trying to time that play as the guy goes in motion, so it'll be 1st and 5, and they'll do it again. Nelly's going to keep it on. He's buried. Elijah Cherry and Chino Grant got him. Big loss on the play. Going to bring up 2nd down and maybe 9.
Elijah Cherry, not only a cheerleader in the offensive line, he's a playmaker as well. They're blowing things up.
Yeah,
very disruptive.
Yeah, Cherry and Clayton have really given Fitch a lot of problems.
Dorsey out there, too, another one of those guys.
Yep, Nas Nelson. That big line of the Governors has played well. So 2nd and 7, we'll call it. 8 minutes remaining here in quarter number 3. Nelly, fullback dive, straight up the middle. Deichler, and he'll have a first down. James Deichler, the sophomore, was a shoe tackle away from heading to the house, but it will move the chains. First down, Falcons.
Yeah, Deichler split the defenders that time, popped it. Casey got into the second level, and was fortunate for Wilbur Cross that he didn't go for 6.
That's the same play that we saw Michael Hamlin break for a touchdown in the first half. That time, Deichler was a shoestring tackle away himself. First down, Nelly wants to throw. Little hitch and go, puts it up in the air for Stevens. He wants a pass interference against Burris, but he won't get it. I think that was good coverage by Burris. What do you think, Sports Doctor?
Good coverage.
Okay.
Good coverage by Burris. And again, it's a one-on-one situation on the outside. Stevens has got the speed. And again, Nelly's got to put a little bit of air, a little bit of touch under that ball, and that could be 6 points by Stevens.
Yeah, Nelly's just did not seem.
He throws it on a rope.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have a lot of comfort in his own touch. Everything is a fastball. Got to learn to change speed, son. 2nd down and 10. Nelly will operate again for the Falcons. Little trap play inside to Tate, and well defended that time by Wilbur Cross. Maybe a gain of a yard.
When you have that luxury of that defensive line that Wilbur Cross does, where you don't need to, creep your linebackers up to the line of scrimmage. It's when you have guys like the big Vince Wilforks up front anchoring things down, you can do some extra things with your linebackers.
7 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, and Fitch will have a 3rd down and 8.5 perhaps. Clock running here with 21-6 Falcons.
7-man front for Wilbur Cross right here.
Nelly wants to throw out in the flat, has his man, and hit immediately and brought to the ground. Lonnie Howard tackled out there by Jeremy Martinez. gain of a couple, and it'll bring up a long down for 4th and, say, 7.
Textbook closing speed that time by Martinez on the outside, Casey. Nothing cooking there for Fitch. Like the pursuit. Nice job by Martinez.
Yeah, Jeremy Martinez that time really, he got to Howard the second he caught the ball, didn't let anything happen, and it'll bring up 4th and long. And a rare Falcon punt as Damian Flores will kick it away. He stands at his own 25-yard line. Snap is good, and Flores gets the kick away. Beautiful spiraling kick over the top of Wilbur Cross, picked up by Barnes, and Sean Barnes is wrapped up immediately. Great coverage down there. Joseph Vignato down there. At the end of 3 quarters, it's Ledyard 13, Lyman Hall nothing. However, Lyman Hall will start the 4th quarter deep in Ledyard territory, so they're looking to get in, but there's a
big win for the Colonels right
surprise. The Colonels got a little something going right now.
Yeah.
They're feeling good about themselves.
We're feeling good about ourselves here, too.
We always feel good about
No,
ourselves.
the goodies are gone. The goodies, we've eaten all the goodies.
End of 3, Weston 27, East Lyme 3. So 27 unanswered points from Weston after an early Viking field goal. And the Vikings are having a tough time this year. Talented group of kids, but had a tough schedule and have lost
games
some tough
that
games.
they lost some close games too. Pomerog and
got them off started in a bad way. First down run and nothing there. Covered nicely by the Falcons as Damian Flores stepped up to make the tackle on Mikey DeLeon, and that's going to bring up 2nd and long for Wilbur Cross.
I'd like to see that option look here out of the Governors again and get the ball on the outside, get it on the edge, give their guy a touch out there, give Barnes a little bit of a look.
Little reverse, Randall looking for a block, and Tate wrestles him out of bounds. Got about 5 back, but Falcons did a nice job staying at home on the outside against Randall.
Randall needed a couple more blocks downfield from his wide receivers and from Barnes. Like I said, a little room on the edge, but pursuit of the linebackers that time for the Falcons.
See, I'm looking at 6'2", 5'11", 5'10", the wide receivers for Wilbur Cross. Got to see him put the ball in the air at some point. Option, and it's behind Barnes. It's loose, and it is recovered by the Falcons. Daniel Mojica recovers the fumble, and the Falcons are in business at the Wilbur Cross 12-yard line.
All right, turnovers and penalties on the road will kill you every time, and a bad pitch that time out to Barnes. Tough way to turn the ball over to the Falcons right there.
5 minutes and 12 seconds remaining, and Fitch is in business. They're already in scoring position in the red zone here, knocking on the door after the Wilbur Cross turnover.
Boy, the luxury of the field position that Fitch has played with all game long, Casey, it's been huge. Whether it's special teams or defense or turnovers, they've had some good field position tonight.
And it'll be a timeout on the field right now as they get things together. 1st and 10 Falcons, 5:12 remaining, 21-6.
Look at a Hillhouse London score from Peter when he gets a chance. Get an update. Zakai Burgess has scored a touchdown and put Fitch London on the board.
There's a toss right to Lonnie Howard, and well defended. Wilbur Cross will drop him back for a loss. Coming up and making the hit, Mikey DeLeon. So the Whalers got on the board. We'll get a score in that game.
You got nothing.
No update for you.
All right.
When one comes across, we'll make notice. So that's going to be 2nd and 12 for the Falcons. 4:40 remaining here. Second and long. In motion, Howard. Ball's on the turf. Nelly looks like he covers it up himself. And it'll bring up 3rd down. Coach Mike Ellis, this is reminiscent of the previous weeks when the Falcons got into the red zone and couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, I was at the New London game a few weeks ago, and it was a very, very frustrating 4 quarters of football for Coach Mike Ellis and the entire Fitch team. I think they were held, Coach talked about it last night, 122 yards of offense the entire game, Case?
Not nearly enough. Killingly 49, Stonington nothing with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Cochran rule in effect.
Oh, boy.
He is on the sidelines.
And here we have 21-6 Falcons over Wilbur Cross. Third down, Fitch. And the handoff goes up the middle to Hamlin. And not much there. Wilbur Cross interior line doing a nice job holding up, and it's going to bring up fourth down for the Falcons.
Hamlin's a transfer from NFA, is he not?
Yes.
Played at NFA last year.
He was one of that duo, he and
Sean Preston.
Sean Preston, correct. Last year he was a sophomore and Preston was a freshman. And now he is a junior and Preston is a sophomore.
Makes sense.
That's how it goes. Even the sports doctor at Wheeler. That's how it went, right?
I almost called you Jimmy for a minute there.
Well,
I'm looking at you in front of me.
It really is.
I almost called you Coach.
All
right, Coach.
I'm a Ernest Hemingway beard away from.
He still has the beard.
No, he got rid of the beard, but now he's got clown hair.
All right, good. And still playing golf.
Yeah, and he is.
72 holes in a weekend.
That's correct.
All right.
Fourth down, Falcons here. Nelly will operate from the shotgun on 4th and 10. He's going to throw. Nelly pressured. Rolls right, and he is not going to be able to escape the grasp of Inaz Jones. And it'll be a turnover on downs. And it'll be Wilbur Cross ball here, 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Senior outside linebacker, 6', 190, and long arms of Inaz Jones. Taking Tyler and Nelly down. Fitch became very one-dimensional on that fourth down play, Case.
Yeah, if they don't have time on a obvious pass play like that, if they don't have time, I mean, Nelly really didn't have any realistic opportunity to let that ball go. No chance for receivers to break open or anything like that.
Now, and Jones has got the long arms. He steps on the edge. He takes away the field of vision from Nelly and makes a play.
So first down, Wilbur Cross, 3 minutes, 14 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Turnover did not hurt Wilbur Cross in that possession.
And we're going to have a whistle, as they're going to say encroachment or offsides against the Falcons, and that'll give Wilbur Cross 5 yards. And they'll operate 1st and 5.
A lot of penalties in this game. I would venture up close to 15, 16 penalties combined, would you guess?
Yeah, there has been a lot of penalties. And again, off of a bye week when you're supposed to get crisper and get more in tune and get more sound, this is not what either, I think, coach wants to see. So 1st and 5, Wilbur Cross will have Hicks. Hands off straight up the middle to Barnes. Barnes will have a first down as he rumbles and puts his head forward. Josiah Barnes, great run there on first down. That's something we haven't seen. Interior running on behalf of Barnes.
Straight north-south running by Barnes, and then a finish at the end of the run. They'll get down, lower the shoulder, and grind out 7 yards, Casey. It's a second-best run of the game outside of the touchdown right there.
Yeah, we've used to seeing him on the edge, that time straight off tackle, and nothing fancy about it. Straight
Power
up,
football.
Yeah, straight up and down. First down, Wilbur Cross. Hicks gives it to Barnes again, and this time Barnes has to be a little bit of a shimmy shake, and he does, and he gets a couple of yards. But really, that time it was Barnes with some vision because it was nothing there on the first read of the play.
A little Barry Sanders-esque, getting small in the hole, shake and bake left and right, finish the run. Barnes is ready to pop one. I got a feeling.
I
got a feeling on this drive, or Barnes could pop one here for 30 or 40 yards and get that record.
2nd down and 6. He got 4 out of nothing on first down. Gives it to him again, and this time he's going to have to do it again on his own, and he's not going to be able to do it as the Falcons wrap up Barnes after a gain of maybe a half a yard, if that. Helbig and Mojica and the rest of the crew coming out of the pile that time for the Fitch.
Yeah, Helbig laying on his back that time, made the tackle for Fitch.
Ripped the shoe off of Barnes as well.
Yeah.
Came up holding the shoe.
You win the prize.
That's like a trophy.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that back. That's a trophy right there. 3rd and 8. And
everybody moved, but the center did not snap the ball.
Yep. Yeah. That's not what we wanted. And the center.
Center's still down with the ball. He's like,
what?
On one? Is it on one or on 2?
Center should go, boys, it's whenever I snap it. You don't go anywhere until I snap the football. But it's going to back up Wilbur Cross, and it's going to give up. It's going to be 3rd and long here.
What's the old saying? Got to watch the ball?
Watch the ball.
Watch the ball. Watch the ball.
Scream at the cost. Watch the ball. Those hard counts.
That's youth football, is it not? Watch the ball? Painful, isn't it?
We once had a 10-play drive on nothing but false starts. Where we just hard counted our way down the field. Hicks is going to throw, has time. Now he's pressured by Helbig and sacked by Helbig. And I got to tell you, Helbig is strong because LaShawn Hicks went down to the ground like kindling as Helbig just wrapped him and threw him to the ground for a huge loss on 3rd down.
Well, you think that kid's not fired up out there? Team's 2-2, looking to jumpstart things. Nick Helbig, number 55. Like the way he plays. He plays with a motor, plays with a lot of passion, a lot of energy.
That's going to bring up 4th and 22. Sports Doctor's going in for the last cookie. 4th and 22. And Wilbur Cross is going to have to punt it away as Randall will come in for another punt. He's standing right on his own 15-yard line.
Randall's had a busy leg all game long.
Good punt as he puts it back, and Cantris picks it up at the 45-yard line, and he'll be wrapped up pretty quickly. Nice job getting to him, Armand Hyslop. And check that will Donald Burse as well, and it'll be 1st down Falcons right around midfield.
Very slow, methodical, stuck in the mud type of 3rd quarter here. Not crisp at all. We saw some good plays to end the 1st half, and we start, like you said, the entire 2nd half like the start of the ballgame.
And for two teams that run the ball, this game is taking a very long time because there's been so many whistles for penalties. 1st down Fitch right at midfield. Nelly gives to Deichler. Deichler driving, churning, and he comes close to a 1st down. James Deichler with a bullish run on 1st down. Rips off good yards for the Falcons. Sports Doctor's still chewing his cookie, so I will mention that Deichler that time, in number 45 with the high knees, was dragging Wilbur Cross by the jersey down to a 2nd and half a yard.
Yeah, and you got a feeling that Fitch is going to pop one of those, too, for a big gainer as well. They've done it once, Casey, but Deichler is, like you say, he's an arm tackle. He's a guy draped on the left part of his knee away from going the distance.
Ooh. On a chilly night in Groton, we're headed to the 4th quarter. It's 21-6, so that means all the proverbial 4 fingers in the air as we're heading to the 4th quarter. Fitch 21, Wilbur Cross 6.
Yeah, Mike Ellis is going to see if he can give you a 10-play, 43-yard drive taking 9 minutes of the clock. How's that?
I want to hear the string of Ellisisms that came out of tonight's weirdness here. How many shoots, and oh my goodnesses.
Tim Cook's down there on the sideline running the camera.
Yeah.
Mike Ellis wearing the mic for us tonight, as well as Coach Aquavito over on the other side. So I'm sure there's going to be a few colorful moments based on what we've seen so far tonight.
And see, you haven't talked to Coach Aquavito yet, Peter, have you? You haven't had any contact with him?
I have not.
He's fantastic. He is. To wear the mic too. He's a good sport over there. Would you say that, Casey?
I think this might be the first Wired Zone where you show no actual footage of the game, and it's just entirely the coach's comments for the better part of the game. They should be interesting. Both very good personalities. When I said to Coach Aquavita, you remind me a lot of Coach Ellis. He said, yeah, we talked to each other before the game. Between us, we have 8 daughters. I said, you're both sane. He goes, no, we're both broke. Man, yeah, they're good guys. 2nd down and very short for the Falcons. They'll be heading left to right now, and they'll get under center with Nelly to start the first play of the 4th quarter. Nelly, play action, going to throw, has a man, and he just overthrows Tate on the wheel route.
Yeah, that wheel route is there. Again, Tate one-on-one coverage on the outside. If Nelly could just find a little bit of air to put underneath that football, Casey, that's 6 points.
No, you got it right. If I were the quarterback coach of Tyler Nelly, that's the one thing I'd be working on with him as well, is just getting a little bit of, a little air under the ball, a little bit of loft.
Yeah, let his receiver run underneath it and make a play.
It'll be 3rd and short. Nelly now is going to go under center. We've seen him do the quarterback keeper and the fullback dive here on 3rd and short. This time, he's going to keep it himself on the option, and we're going to see where the forward progress is. He was right at the sticks, which is right on the 40-yard line, and it looks like they've got him short by maybe a foot, but that'll mean that Fitch will go for it on 4th and a foot.
Big Kyle Dorsey, it looks like number 52 on that tackle right there. Shedding the block, Casey, wrapping up. That's textbook for a defensive lineman right there.
Yeah, nice job by Dorsey. I'll tell you, the Wilbur Cross line, I thought, has done well. We've seen a couple of big fullback dives, again, but for the most part, that line for the Wilbur Cross team has done a nice job holding up against a talented Fitch line.
Yeah, they've hung in there. It's a big. This is 4th down right here, isn't it?
The scoreboard says yes. The sticks say no. Either way, Nelly has a first down. So,
all right.
Regardless of which of those two things
the sticks said 3rd down. So, I mean, the sticks said 3rd down. The scoreboard said 4th down. Yeah.
Peter Wappy says 4th, and
That's right.
and his word is law. So, either way, it's a first down, and the Falcons will move the chains.
How about a 5th down? Remember that game?
Colorado
against Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very good job.
Who was the quarterback then? Darren Hagan? I think it was Darren
Could be
Hagan.
Rashad Salam.
That was the year they won a national championship, too.
Yeah, not bad.
Bill McCartney.
Yeah. Whatchamacallit, that was a good team.
A very good team. Wide receiver. Charles Johnson, I think, was a wide receiver.
Yeah,
very
good team. And it's going to be a false start penalty against Fitch, and that'll back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, who did they beat that year in the bowl game? They beat Notre Dame.
You had to bring that up, huh?
And, I think it was the Orange Bowl. They beat Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl. That was a Rocket Ismail game.
The punt.
You remember?
Yep. The punt that I'm still
We're going. Where was the hold?
I'm still trying to figure out where that was. He was such an
great.
What an electric player.
Great college.
Now you asked me about Cassie Fletcher from New London High School when he was now the athletic director. Handoff Deichler on the dive. He'll get a couple. You asked me. You said, what kind of player was Cassie Fletcher? Cassie Fletcher was the Rocket Ismail
was he
of
really?
the ACC.
Okay.
He wasn't a great wide receiver.
Right.
But he was the best kickoff and punt return guy. Him and his brother.
Home run hitter.
Oh my! I mean, every time he touched the ball, Ambrose went to Penn State.
Yeah.
He's a great running back. A great running back.
He had that big punt return against Oregon, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a great
Rose
running
Bowl.
back. But yeah, Rose Bowl set the Rose Bowl record kickoff return.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty good.
But Cassie was Rocket Ismail. He would take. everything was to the house.
Yes.
He was unbelievable with his speed. Second down, Falcons. Nelly gives it to Tate on the option, and Tate has about 6 before he's hammered out of bounds by Jeremy Martinez, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
You go back to that 1990 Notre Dame team, too. The game that was at Michigan on the road where Rocket Ismail single-handedly won that game. And I think he gets screwed out of the Heisman that year, too. I thought that he was the best college football player, not Ty Detmer.
I'm sorry, but I have to interrupt only because this is the greatest name we've called in years. Lyman Hall's Sean Pagano connects with Shakespeare Rodriguez on a 24-yard touchdown. After the PAT gets blocked, Lyman Hall and Ledger are tied. 13-13. Friends.
I really hope that's not a bad autocorrect.
Friends, Romans, and
Countrymen, lend me your ears. We're tied at 13. Fullback dive up the middle. And it looks like we're going to have the pile. I love it. They shove the pile. It's still going. It's like a rugby scrum.
Yeah, right in the middle of the scrum. How about number 55, Nick Helbig, coming out of there, clapping his hands. Look at him, doing it all down there.
That was fantastic. Deichler got 5 yards on his own and 12 more in the scrum afterwards.
A team effort right there.
Now, how does that go? Does he get the 17-yard run, or do we get the distribute? Does Helbig get a 6-yard carry on top of it for everything else he's done today?
2 yards each for the rest of the Falcons.
I'm going to talk to Helbig after the game. I think it's important.
Man, I want to ask him if he's a better sacks player or lineman.
Yeah.
First down, Falcons. 9:20 remaining here in the ball game. Looking to put it away on a long drive. Nelly's going to keep it, and he's wrapped up from behind. Good pursuit out there by Jabez Cubez of the Wilbur Cross team. And it's going to bring up a 2nd and long as he maybe lost a yard, 2nd and 11.
So go back to Cassie Fletcher and his brother and stuff like that. You equate him to the Rocket Ismail, huh?
Yeah, that was the best. There has been 3 New London teams that I think are arguably the greatest New London teams.
Now, what year was that, 92?
Yeah, that was the 92 team. That was John McCullough as the quarterback, and we'll get more in a minute as Fitch runs 2nd down. Toss right, Lonnie Howard. Howard has a first down. Howard gets to the sideline, and he's bumped out of bounds. And Howard will do a nice job. He's going to be marked out. And it's going to be right at the chains. I think he had enough for the first down.
How about some great downfield blocking that time by Kennard Tate? You see him sticking his head down, making the blocks. And again, Casey, when you want big plays on the edge, you're going to have your receivers blocking downfield. Kennard Tate doing work.
Yeah, you've said that name a few times.
Yeah, he's done well out there.
and I don't want to misspeak. So that's either the 91 team or the 92 team.
Okay.
You had Shea Sanders in the year before that, and they won a state championship with Shea Sanders. But you had John McCool at quarterback, Troy McKelvin as a really, really dynamic tight end, Ambrose Fletcher, the running back, Cassie Fletcher, the wide receiver, kick returner. Rob Young and Troy McKelvin were the best 2 defensive ends I've ever seen in high school. Nelly on the keeper, not much there, and it'll be second down and long.
Troy McKelvin, huh?
Troy McKelvin was a great tight end. He was good. Him and Rob Young as defensive ends, dominant. I mean, pick the best defensive. Let me put it this way: if you had Nick Helbig playing defensive end, both sides, that's what those 2 guys just completely disrupted everything.
I had a chance to see John McCool 2 weeks ago in action on the sidelines against his Fitch team. He is a spirited fellow. Would you say that that's an understatement?
Absolutely. You see how he's a big guy. He was quarterback. He could throw the ball.
McCullough.
Yes.
A baseball player too, correct?
Oh, he's a great pitcher, shortstop, but he could really throw the football. And that team was very, very good.
That was the old Jimmy Bunicor. Mr. Bunicor coaching that team, correct?
Yeah, I think the best New London team I ever saw was the 83 team that shut out Torrington with Jack Cochran, Juan Roman, Danny Vendetto as the quarterback. That team, that's
defense, a long time ago.
That team's defense.
You're in 8th grade.
Unbelievable.
8th grade or a freshman?
Yeah, that team's. I was not in school yet.
You were in 8th grade.
I was in 8th grade. That team was fabulous. And then the team that actually didn't win, that Ansonia beat with Jamal Johnson, was maybe one of the best teams that never won anything. Second down.
That ball's out
of turf, and Wilbur Cross says they have it, but it's still loose. Nobody can recover it. Now whose ball is it? Wilbur Cross says it's theirs, and it is another turnover, and the Falcons, they want to make sure they keep Wilbur Cross around.
That time you saw a bad exchange between Nelly and Deichler, and Wilbur Cross took full advantage of it. Casey, I honestly see this kid Barnes get the record on this drive. I mean, it'd be nice to see him break that rushing record.
Now, since he had it,
gave it back.
Lost it, and then got it again. It would be nice to see that.
I got to think he's probably about, 15 yards away, unofficially, tallying up his losses and gains.
So it is first and 10, Wilbur Cross.
Vicky would know. Vicky was probably keeping tally of the game. She would probably know how many yards he's got.
She would know.
I score every play.
Hicks, throw, pressure, and dropped. Noah Sharon came in and dropped Hicks, and that is a big loss on first down.
Boy, I don't know if that was a jailbreak screen or just a letdown by the offensive line. It just, he had no time to set and throw whatsoever.
No, it was just a question of who got there first.
Yeah.
That looks like one of those plays in practice where you first one to the ball wins.
Throw it away in practice.
Yeah, second. You get the red jersey on in practice, right? Second down, handoff to Barnes. Barnes tries to break it outside, and he cannot. He cannot elude big number 14 again. Noah Sharon. Back-to-back plays for Sharon. And backwards, Wilbur Cross is back on their own goal line now. It's going to be 3rd and 25 from the 1-yard line.
And at Barnes' forward progress case, he's lucky he stayed out of the end zone, and Fitch didn't get their second safety of the ball game. Sharon all over Barnes there.
So 3rd and forever.
Have you ever seen 2 safeties in a ball game? Been a
No,
long time.
I can't remember a time, I'll tell you. Right now, Wilbur Cross has to get about to Old Saybrook for a first down. Hicks is going to throw, and we're going to get a
false start.
Whistle.
Yeah.
And a false start. And right now they're going to have to cross the bridge into Old Saybrook to get a first down. It is going to be, well, the good news is half the distance to the goal only moves it about a foot
4
and a half.
inches.
So 6:23 remaining, 21-6 Fitch, and they are really trying to get their second safety of the game. So Hicks will be in the backfield. Barnes stands behind him. Good snap. Hicks is going to throw. Pressured. And there it is. There's the second safety of the game, and who gets it? Nick Helbig.
Wow, Helbig accounted for both safeties tonight, Casey. He blocked the punt, and he tackled Hicks in the end zone for that safety. 2 for 2.
Now,
number 55.
What does that tackle and his halftime performance have in common? They're both sacks.
You are in midseason form right now. Dun-dun-dun.
So 23-6. Yeah, you should ask him that question. Which sacks do you like more? The ones in the end zone or the one during the halftime show?
Yeah.
6-10 here, 23-6 Falcons. And the Falcons will get the ball as, for the second time tonight, Wilbur Cross is going to have to get rid of it after a safety. What a weird. So let's see. 2 safeties, a trick play, halfback pass for a touchdown.
Your backup quarterback making a throw mid-drive.
Oh, man. A punt off a face mask.
Sure.
And 27 penalties.
And a school record broken and unbroken on a holding call.
That's correct.
Add it to the list.
That's very good.
Add it to the list. Add it to the list.
So Wilbur Cross will kick it off, and we'll see where the Falcons get it. Pedro Mojica back at the 25-yard line for the Falcons.
It'll be crisp tomorrow, too. 56 degrees. Fall has arrived for you, my friend.
Well, that's okay. I'm actually glad that it's going to be crisp tomorrow. Tomorrow is an important day for me, which I'll mention in a moment. And the weather being cold will be perfect. Mojica's going to pick the ball up at his own 40-yard line. And Mojica breaks a tackle, still on his feet, and he gets down to the 45-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 Falcons.
Celebration tomorrow.
Yes, celebration of life. New London High School, the community of New London, my family lost a great man a week ago, former superintendent of schools, Dr. Rene Reset, former dean of students, English teacher, and great superintendent. He was a superintendent for all those football teams that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Great lover of sports, jazz musician. Nick Helbig would have liked him as well. He also played jazz sax, did Dr. Reset. And tomorrow at New London High School at 10 a.m., celebration of his life after he passed away at 77 years old. And he liked it cold. He liked those crisp days. So he'll be happy tomorrow on a crisp day. Toss right to Howard on 1st down. And he breaks a tackle, hugs the sideline. One man to beat. It's a race to the end zone. Lonnie Howard, touchdown Falcons.
And I've been talking about the downfield blocking. That time, Kennard Tate again. Oh, don't tell me there's a flag down.
Why wouldn't there be?
Oh, don't say it's on Kennard Tate. I was just ringing his praise. I think it's going to be on Tate on the edge. No hold. Coming back. Oh, what a great run by Howard. The vision, the speed, the finish. I look at Kennard Tate pleading his case down there.
I like the fact that the 5'10", 240-pound Elijah Cherry was the one chasing him toward the end zone. And Howard got all the way to the house. That is the second big play touchdown that we have seen called back tonight via a hold, one on each side, and it will back Fitch up all the way back into Wilbur Cross territory.
Yeah, Kennard Tate not happy with that. Mike Ellis not happy with that. Tough call going down the sidelines.
A final from Dave Davis. My man Dave says Weston 34, East Lyme 11. Nice win for Weston and East Lyme. Back to the drawing board. Talk about tough back-to-back weeks. NFA and then Weston. Here's a little handoff to Hamlin. And Hamlin gets back past the original line of scrimmage, and he'll have about a gain of 7 as the clock ticks, 5:35 remaining.
Yeah, Wilbur Cross still scrapping down there, still fighting, still making tackles, making plays. Nah, I'm impressed. No quitting this team.
They will drop with a loss, assuming that happens. They'll drop to 2-3, and it doesn't get any easier because their next 4 games, Hamden, Notre Dame, East Haven, and Hand, are all very, very good teams. A combined 12-4.
Yeah.
The records of the teams, and Notre Dame is not a 2-2 team.
Hand is good. Hand is third in the state right now.
Yeah, and East Haven's 4-0 as well, also right there. So no easy way for Wilbur Cross the rest of the way. Nelly pitches to Tate. Tate cuts it inside and close to the first down marker. Kennard Tate on 2nd down. It'll be short, 3rd and short for the Falcons.
Yeah, hand up 47-0 on West Haven right now.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're a good team.
And that's West Haven's a good team.
Yeah.
Wow.
That game's at the Surf Club tonight. Imagine the cold weather coming off the water down there.
There's probably 5,000 people watching that game right now. Hand is good.
Defending, Class L state champions right there.
The top teams in the state, the top few teams in the state are just elite teams. And one of
Greenwich is good,
One
too.
of them's playing NFA tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll see
Greenwich is good, too.
Yeah, well, Greenwich, listen, they travel in the private bus. Nelly rolls, fakes it, keeps it himself, has the first down, and inside the 30-yard line. Tyler Nelly, nice job on the quarterback keeper.
Yeah, what a sell job that time on the option. Took a cut back in. Tyler Nelly, 12 yards. His best run of the ball game right there.
I remember I went to see, we rode up to a game on the yellow bus. New London had the yellow bus. We rolled up Greenwich rolled in an all-white Greyhound bus with a big red cardinal on the side that Mike Chernoff, whose kid went to Greenwich High School, Chernoff, the
guy for the Knicks?
From the
Mark
Knicks,
Chernoff?
bought them a bus. So, wow. 3:36 left in the game. Hill House 20, New London 7. And the Johnny Burns honeymoon's going to come to an ugly end here tonight as the Whalers looks to drop to 3-2. Nelly rolls right, dumps it to Hamlin, and he's hit immediately. Nice job out on the edge. Tackle made by Elijah Randall. So that's an upset. I think of all the ECC games that people penciled the wins in, I think people penciled the win in
winless.
New London.
Winless Hill House, yeah.
0-5 Hill House. So.
Traveling again across state.
Yeah, Hill
taking
House.
on New London.
Yeah, coming all the way down. Hill House and
I'll take my chances against the football team, never mind the basketball team.
Yeah, you don't want basketball team, only part of them. The academics can play. Something like, 640 state championships for Hill House in basketball?
Renard Sutton, head coach. Yeah.
We saw them do
Legend plays them again this year.
Those were some great battles. That we had a lot of fun watching those two teams go at each other. And another coach who, by the way, opened his arms and let us in and said, hey, I got –
Yeah, Renard Sutton.
Yeah, he was great. He was great. Timeout Fitch, under 3 minutes remaining in the game, 23-6. Falcons on top. So a shocker in New London where the Whalers looking like they're heading in the wrong direction of a defeat against Hill House. The Falcons looking like they're on the right side of things here, 23-6, under 3 minutes remaining. Weston put a hurting on East Lyme after an early East Lyme field goal. Killingly 49-0 over Stonington. That final is in.
No surprise.
And then the two games tomorrow. We still got to see Lyman and Ledyard. They were locked at 13 last time we checked. And then tomorrow, Newtown.
Waterford at Bacon.
Waterford. Well, I would say that.
It's a nice game.
Of the two big games tomorrow, Waterford Bacon and NFA Newtown. So Lyman Hall fakes a punt, and Lewis Fern hits Shakespeare Rodriguez with a 65-yard touchdown. After the PAT, Lyman Hall now leads Ledyard 20-13 with 55 seconds left.
Crazy.
Wow.
So the league is going to rely on NFA tomorrow.
Yes.
To get at least more than one win.
Yeah. I mean, well.
Tough game.
Yeah, Fitch did their job tonight, but there's going to be, 1-3 tonight for
That's
the
right.
ECC?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not a good weekend. Not a good Friday night overall. I think the ECC was really hoping for 2-2, maybe 3-1. 1-3. Ouch.
And New London, the score is surprising.
That is. Especially the offense, not being able to get anything going. First down handoff to Hamlin. Second down handoff to Hamlin. It'll bring up 3rd and long. I'm just the offense of New London, which had looked like it was moving with Burgess and Commander and Owen George, and be interesting to see if there was something that happened at that game or what people saw. But
even 2 weeks ago when the offense didn't do an awful lot against Fitch, they made some big plays. That big play in the passing game, Commander had 175 yards rushing as well.
Third and 8. Nelly keeps it himself, and he'll be close to a first down. And then, of course, we had the news that Wyndham has an new all-time leading rusher.
Yeah.
Nat Barbosa-Torres with the new record, as we're under 2 minutes remaining here. And sadly, with Fitch in the ball here under 2 minutes, we may not see Josiah Barnes get a chance to break the record. He's going to have to wait another week, it looks like. Griswold 20, Wyndham 8, end of the third quarter. So
that Griswold team is pretty good.
They are pretty good.
They got a good quarterback, good offensive line. They're not too bad.
No, good Griswold team, 20-8.
Yeah, Trumbull. They're going to play Trumbull this year, too.
That should be fun. Nelly, quarterback keeper. He'll get the first down on 4th and half a yard, and chains will move, and the clock will tick. And that should be enough. Yeah, that should be enough for Falcons to wrap it up. Let's see what they want to call it. Hill House. I keep wanting to say Hill House.
Yeah. I'm curious to ask Mike Ellis, too, if he's happy with his team's performance here tonight. I'm sure he's happy to get a victory. I'm sure he's going to tell you there's a lot to clean up.
We're going to get a personal foul against Wilbur Cross, and that will move the ball half the distance to the goal.
Be victory formation from here on out, you would think.
That'll be interesting to see because that puts the ball inside the 10. And see if Coach Mike Ellis wants to take a knee or if he's going to have his guy just do handoffs up the gut. But I don't think so. I don't think he's going to. I mean, he'll be happy with the win. You're always happy with the win. And I think he'll be happy with 3 touchdowns from the offense from where they were. But they still had the ball 5 other times inside the 20-yard line that they either had penalties or turnovers.
Came away with nothing. Yeah, came away with nothing. It's victory formation here.
And this is why, with 1 minute remaining in the game, and that's why right there, ladies and gentlemen, this is why Mike Ellis is a class act beyond description and one of the true gentlemen in the game of high school football. He has an opponent in Wilbur Cross who they don't know, won't see again, a coach in John Aquavita who he doesn't know, and with 40 seconds remaining, taking a knee is a classy act. That's and I just can't say enough about it. All too often we don't see that. Mike Ellis is an example for the kids and for the coaches. And on the other side of things, Coach John Aquavita will respect the sort of respect given back to him. So clock ticking down here toward the end of the game, 23-6. The sports doctor will head down to the field and he'll talk with Coach Mike Ellis and perhaps Nick Helbig as well after a hard-fought victory here at Fitch High School. As the clock hits 0, your final score, the Fitch Falcons move to 3-2, dropping the Wilbur Cross Governors to 2-3 with a final score of Fitch 23, Wilbur Cross 6 on crossover weekend. The Falcons earned the ECC's perhaps lone victory of the night, 23-6. As always, look for theday.com for highlights from tonight's game, as well as the Wired Zone coming your way with the mic'd up coaches, as well as all of the highlights in a package. An exciting night, an interesting night. Join us soon on Thursday. We will be bringing the ECC Cross Country Championships to you, and then we'll be back to football again the following week. For Peter Wappy and the boys, and the sports doctor Keith O'Brien, I'm Casey O'Neill. Good night, everybody.